I need this fasted Morbius.
The Fast and Morbius. That's Jurassic. That's like a Jurassic Park Transformers collaboration, bro.
Hey, look, it's a little dead meme.
Hola, soy Dora. Can you say Ethan Ralph in Portugal?
Again, bro. Again.
Was he in? He wasn't in Portugal again, was he?
Again. He went to Lisbon.
What's Lisbon?
Lisbon is the capital of Portugal.
Oh my God! Why does he keep going back to Portugal?
So
it might be nice.
This is the full breakdown. No one really understands it fully, but at the same time, they're trying to understand it from his point of view because it doesn't make sense to any normal person with a normal functioning brain. So Ethan Ralph, for a time, captain of the Internet Blood Sports. If you guys don't remember what that is, it was like the Jerry Springer of quote unquote debates in this sphere of the internet. Just a bunch of degenerates screaming obscenities and expletives at each other.
Which, by the way, good idea. Really hindered by the fact that it wasn't in person. I think that shit live would have been sick.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been a moment in time.
It would have been pretty cool because it would have been nice, and I definitely would have watched it. It was kind of like when Candace Owens and Blair White were screaming at each other, and then you saw like the dread of Dave Rubin look like he was about to die.
Could you imagine? Like you're debating somebody, right? And you're not ready for that. You're not ready. You're there. You just come with facts. You know, you're like a proper debater. You come with like facts. So you're gonna throw at the person, and then someone starts calling you like wild shit while you're just trying to do. You're just like, you fucking.
That's debates, man.
That's essentially everything. Internet blood sports.
Everything.
You F word. You're an N word. Like there's these guys that exist in this space. They use like nigga, like just the soft A, more commonly than most black folk that you'll encounter. It's fucking weird. Like there's this guy, I forgot his name. It has to do with a beard. He's a part of that whole sphere. Something beard something. Beardly or something like that. I'm not gonna know. It's something like that. There's a beard. I just remember there's a beard, and he was a part of a documentary of Louis Theroux. Talking about Nicholas Fuentes in the alt-right or America First. Same shit. And this beard guy was on it, and he like chased him off the property. Get off my property or some shit. But like this guy just drops the N-bomb. I was like looking at one of his streams, and I'm like, is this Fat Joe? I'm like, am I just listening to Fat Joe's stream? I don't know what's happening. It was so weird.
Before we keep going, I just wanted to bring this up. I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw people talking about how Nick Fuentes got caught watching trans porn.
I think it is true.
But I think it's true. But
I think it's 100% true that he got caught. And I will say before we move forward, I will touch on that for a second because I think it's just beautiful because back in 2018, I did an episode of Twitter Trash. And I was just making fun of him for tweeting out, "We must eradicate porn," because every time you see those people, they're always the first people that are just consuming it in just dangerous amounts to their health.
Just grotesquity, bro. Like he's watching porn. He's watching porn when he wakes up. He just
he's got so much porn open at any given time that his games effectively, like noticeably, run worse. There's maybe 40 tabs open
of just hardcore
in Safari. There's 15 in Chrome.
They all got volume. He's just watching them all at the same. It's a cacophony of penises being shoved inside of fucking pussies and assholes. It's just violent.
I remember the first time I had dual monitors, I put 8 windows of porn simultaneously. Because you know how you could just put like
the corners.
Yeah, so I put, and then I never did it again because I was like, this is this is like tapping into like God power. Like you can't do that. You can't. And I feel like these people do this on a regular basis, and that's why they're fucked. It was too much. It was too much porn, dude.
It's like Iron Man is like moving shit in the movie.
What's funny about that is if I were to come across that situation, I wouldn't even necessarily like. I feel like the more windows of porn are open at any given time that that's on somebody's screen at once, the less I assume they're doing something shady for whatever reason, because it looks productive. Like it looks like the what is it, the security cameras where it's like you can't possibly be watching this.
That's a good point.
It's too much to focus on.
Somebody
like, is this
what you had to do. You had to back up a little bit. So you couldn't be too close to the screens, right? Because you can't consume it all. Because you have to like look a little bit. So you back up. What you do is you the part of the with the chick when she's about to reach the big O, like the orgasm, like if that's what you're into, like I like a lot of that solo shit. If I'm ever feeling a little squirrely, so you would line it up, so and then you would just fucking like hit play as they're all like just about to reach the max, and then you essentially shatter your soul because man is not meant to experience this. Like it was so
orchestrated ever so elegantly. Bounce.
It was like fucking.
That would be so scary to see. You walk into somebody's room. Hey, how's it going? And there's 10 windows of porn on both of their monitors, and he's got the conductor sticks.
The chick's just squirting all over the place.
2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5, and just fucking going, and all of it at once, and you just see him slowly become opaque until he just disappears.
You ever see fucking Willem Dafoe in Boondock Saints when he's at a crime scene?
No,
you ever see
that? I
that?
don't remember that.
Oh my, I don't remember it. I
He
know
puts on his Walkman, you know, with the disc or whatever. I can't remember, or it might have been a tape player. Whatever. It was long enough ago. It was either or. And he would put on classical music, and he'd be doing that shit. He'd be doing conductor shit and like looking at like the like the little crime scenes and shit like that. And I will grab that clip and put that over what I'm saying so everybody that's watching can see. But it is that to a T, and it's great because he's such a perfect character. He seems like he would do something like that in that movie because he's such an anomaly. Where if you guys haven't seen Boondock Saints, you should watch it. It's actually a really good movie, despite how it bombed in fucking theater. But let's go back to Ethan Ralph. We're so goddamn far away from it. We're so far away from it. So Ethan Ralph, right? He's from Bloodsports, and he had this big stream. It's not doing so well anymore. Andy Worski, a guy that I used to consider a friend back in like 2017, was streaming or partners with Ethan Ralph at some point. They had a falling out, and so now they're enemies. Andy Worski is Portuguese. He has family that lives in Portugal. So Ethan Ralph, being a vindictive piece of trash, he thought, oh, I'm going to go to Portugal and find Andy Worski's sister, and I'm going to go fuck her or something. So basically he's just saying he's going to like sexually assault this woman. He's going to go flying, and he's just trying to own Andy Worski. And so the first time he goes, he has this expensive man purse, shows up, gets jumped by 4 dudes. They just beat the brakes off of him to where his eyes are like just orbs, and then fucking he has to go to the hospital for a week because his orbit's shat. Like he's fucked. His eye is one of them's never the same. So you thought he would learn his lesson? No. He then later he gets beaten up again at a bowling alley. He does an event in Texas. Somebody fucking does an Ong Bak elbow to his face. It's fucking hilarious. Like, I've never seen that before outside of the fucking mixed martial arts. So somebody just elbowing someone in the fucking face. And then fast forward to what, 2-3 days ago?
Like literally 2-3 days ago. Like 3 days ago.
Just something like that, like two or 3 days ago, whatever it was. He's back in Lisbon, Portugal, trying to own Andy. I guess nobody had a real explanation to why he went, but it has to be that. And then there's a streamer. There was a YouTuber that I actually used to know. His name would be Cognitive Thought.
I remember.
And so Cognitive Thought, he now just goes by Backwards Internet. And he just streams. He lives in the UK. got a cheap-ass ticket with one of his friends to go to Portugal to find Ethan Ralph. And Ethan Ralph was threatening, like, oh, you're not going to do shit. Like, go ahead, show up. They found him. And then, like, Cog's friend was like, hey, let's go confront him. Cog says, no, it's in too public. Like, it's too public right now. So he's being reasonable, but just stalking Ethan Ralph because it's, I guess, funny to these people. Ethan Ralph, being the genius he is, walks right up to them and then starts attacking them. Cog's friend is infinitely bigger than Ethan Ralph because Ethan Ralph's like 5'1", if that. Like, if that.
That's a generous assessment.
So this guy puts him down 4 times. He fucking beats him. It's the footage is just him getting beaten continuously, fish hooked, pushed. Like, and I mean, like, push the way that you would push a baby down. At one point, Ethan's trying to like get up, and the guy just like lays him down, and it's the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. He's sitting Indian style on the floor with a little bit of blood on him, flipping off the camera while that guy Cog is just making pig noises and shit.
What the hell?
One thing I do have to say, man, it is shot so terribly. It is shot so poorly that it adds to the comedic value of it because you're like, what the fuck is this guy shooting? It looks like they are walking like a car accident would happen. Like, it's a very I don't know how to describe the twists and turns that camera does in this man's hand. But
One thing is,
it's like a Beyblade.
You're absolutely right, dude. One thing that is apparent because of that bad camera angle, you can tell Cog is nervous as fuck. He's not steady. Probably. He's not like just filming the action. His friend is beating him continuously, and at points you can see almost nothing. Where I'm like, dude, just point the camera forward. But what he was probably doing was looking at all of the bystanders, looking at all the Portuguese people honking their horns, and then some random chick came up and was trying to like help save Ethan. Just trying to save him.
He was getting ran up on. He was getting roughed up so bad. He was like, I gotta help him. He'll die.
She probably goes, I have to help this baby. This man's assaulting this baby on the street. I gotta help him. It's like that video. It's like that video of the little person who gets thrown off the school bus.
Oh my god.
Dude, that is
like,
amazing.
He's like, that's not a kid. But the funny part is that part. There's so much going on in this New York, and it's noisy as shit. And then that one line breaks the noise, and it's like, that's not a kid. And one person just says it, and then all
like
of us.
The Harry Potter twist. It's insane. That's not a kid.
What could it
be if not a kid? And then they turn and it's person. A full ass man.
It's a grown
I still don't understand that fucking video. Like,
that's New York. That's New York on
Why?
He was probably just trying to get a free ride. The school was probably near where he worked. So he was like, I'm gonna get on this bus. I'm gonna get on this bus to get home quicker because you don't have to pay for a school bus. All you have to do is get on it.
Dude, you cracked the code.
And then he was just trying to get some. He had no bad intentions. He wasn't trying to bother anybody. He was just trying to get home for free.
But he had a lunch.
He had a whole disguise. He had a disguise. He had a whole disguise and everything.
What's so good though? You know what's so good? He spent more money on his disguise than paying for bus fare.
But the thing is,
the thing is, like, if he doesn't get caught, that disguise is forever.
Exactly, that's infinite.
It'll pay off. The investment
it'll
will
appreciate eventually to the point that like this. It's like when you buy a freaking capture card. Like capture card for a freaking one, a good one is a little bit of money, you know, but like it'll eventually pay itself off time and time again.
Dude,
that's literally the same reason I haven't bought one. I was just like, God, this is kind of expensive. I don't want it.
It's like $300, right? Mine was like $300. I think mine was like $200, and I was like, oh, this is
definitely there's some cheaper ones now.
You gotta get Elgato. You gotta get Elgato.
That guy would have been able to get away with it. That guy would have been able to get away with it if it was the pandemic because he would have had a mask on, and nobody would have known. Like, for real, like, he would have.
Good point.
He even had the hood. Like, he was pretty well. Dude, there are people on the street being like, yo, what the fuck's your problem? That's a kid. You know, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, they found out.
That's what was going through that woman's mind. It was like, I gotta help. There's that young portly boy is getting beat up by this
kid,
fucking full-grown man. Oh,
I love
man.
that. I love that so much.
I love
Ethan Ralph
too.
Essentially, was the same. It was the same thing.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. He just got beat up on a live stream in Portugal again. Portugal is not kind to Ethan Ralph. It's so funny too because it's shot so poorly. So like when you do see Ethan, it's like Bigfoot footage. It's like from these.
Look,
like,
there he is!
It's like these blurry angles, and then like you just see like quick snapshots of his face, like swooshed up around.
The
his
way he's lying on the floor in the picture you sent it to the group chat is fucking golden. He looks like someone broke the limbs of a fucking chicken. And his body's just bent in all sorts of ways. He looks horrible. He looks so...
I had somebody on Twitter being like, assault isn't funny. And I had to respond. All I said was like, I mean, it's Ethan, so it's funny. Like it's really that simple. Like this dude does it to himself. He didn't have to be assaulted. It's not like he was just walking down the street minding his own business and then someone assaulted him. He provokes all of this shit. With people who are like going to fuck with him, they only do that because they know he'll fucking respond. So of course, why would you not?
What makes it funny is that Ethan Ralph sucks, right? He's fucking terrible. And I feel bad for him because in my heart I'm like, this is a guy that doesn't understand he sucks as much as he does, you know? He doesn't get it. Like he doesn't know the joke yet. Like for him,
I don't feel bad at all.
For him, it's like, why does everybody fucking hate me? Why'd I have such a hard time? God damn, I'm gonna go to Portugal and fuck this guy's sister. I'm gonna release fucking vengeance porn on somebody. Like, why does everybody need me?
I don't think he has the self-awareness to care that people don't like it. Like, I genuinely do. I do genuinely think like he's just so. Like, I don't like people are like, oh, Ethan's pretty tough. He's going out there getting beat up and he's taking all these punches. It's like, I don't think he's smart enough to understand what pain means. Like, I don't think he's tough. Like, it's like you can't be brave if you're not afraid of anything. That's not what bravery is. Bravery is being afraid of something and doing it anyway. Ethan Ralph is not like he's not a tough person. He's just too stupid to get it. He's gonna get beat to shit. He's gonna die one day, probably in Portugal.
Eventually, if he goes back to Portugal again,
he's tempting fate.
He's gonna
get sold.
Ethan has made me. He's making me a believer in an entity. He's making me believe in God because I feel like he was put on this earth for a purpose, and that purpose is to entertain us. I've never seen this before. I've never seen somebody who's so driven to humiliate himself for us, for everybody to profit and talk about him and have a great time.
I don't think he understands the canon.
But how could he not? Like, everybody that surrounds him is like begging because the girl. There's this girl. I know her username is Pantsu. I don't know her real name. I know she used to date a guy named Digibro. I think Digibro's trans, so I shouldn't even say that. Whatever. But you know what I mean. So they're in that circle, and that's how Ethan Ralph got beaten up at that house because it was Digibro lived there or something. Like he got beat up.
He's always getting beat up.
He trespassed into a house, and he got beat up by a girl and somebody else. He got beat up pretty bad, and his gun was showing pretty nice. But now this is the best footage we've ever seen of his gun. It's like just so there's a screenshot that's been circulating around where it legitimately looks like a small ass on his stomach. Like it's just like it just doesn't make sense. I've never seen like. I have a gut. Like most of the fat on my body is like on my gut. It just goes there pretty well, but it's not. I've never seen like such a like it has a buttocks. There is creases. There's cheeks that you can pull apart. I'm actually curious if there's a butthole there because I've never seen that before.
It folds in on itself.
And then another thing I've never seen, and I think I mentioned on the last podcast, he has quad tits. That's literally like the most I've never seen tits sitting on top of tits.
You ever see?
I've never seen that before.
You ever see that image of what a human being would look like if he was perfectly evolved to survive a car accident?
Yes.
No, what is that? What's that?
Yeah, dude.
What is that?
You've never seen that before?
He reminds me of some.
You gotta see that shit, dude.
He is that. I'll send it to you. I'll text
Dude,
it to you, Kingston.
look it up on your phone. I was gonna say,
I'll text it to you, Kingston, because it's you can't do it.
That sounds so crazy.
Oh man,
a human
Dude,
meant to survive car accidents?
right?
Are you looking it up? How are you doing that with the?
No, I'm not looking it up.
Oh,
I'm not
okay,
looking it at all. I'm
yeah,
just
okay.
fucking wondering.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's just like what do you call it? Or the humans aren't supposed to. Humans aren't designed to take impacts at anywhere. So this is what a human would look like if it were designed.
I'm sending it to the group chat. Be ready. Be ready, Greg.
Yeah, I just remember it just looking like this grotesque fucking blob.
Is it there?
It looks like fucking Juggernaut, dude.
It looks like anorexic. It's like anorexic Juggernaut.
It's like Juggernaut lost all of it, but only his. It's like the opposite of a fucking animal. You know, like animals only get fat in their body and their heads are the same. It's like the fucking opposite.
Yo, I've never been. He looks like a caterpillar and a man would.
Yeah, I can't believe you've never seen that.
Oh my god!
It seems like something that you would have seen.
I like those shells, those hard shells on his ribs or whatever. Those things are pretty cool.
Anyway, that's the story. That is the most recent story of Ethan Ralph. Welcome to the Snark Tank podcast.
Let's go.
I never said that. But
I can't keep fighting.
You know, we've got there's some stuff.
I can't keep
There's some
fighting.
stuff to speak of. You know, I think that's pretty much all we can talk about with the Ethan Ralph stuff, right? It's like I know he's supposed to fight Andy Worski at some point. I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
I will. This is the last thing I'll say. We can definitely move on. He was supposed to, not going to anymore. Keemstar specifically came out and said, "I can't let you fight because, like, your performance that was so embarrassing and so pathetic when he saw that stream." That there's no way he'd put him in the ring with anybody. And I actually 100% agree. That it was too embarrassing to where I've said this on stream before. I've been jumped by 3 people while I was drunk and wearing flip-flops. Spotty as my memory was, I fought back as much as I could. I even made space so I could see all 3 of the guys where I'm like, oh, okay, there's 3 of them. So I try to give myself some space and then just try to fend them off. You try. I've never seen somebody act so tough and posture and then just get knocked down, sit Indian style like a pathetic fucking like Humpty Dumpty, and then just flip off the camera. He started flipping off the camera and just sitting there so like pathetically.
Humpty Dumpty.
Bro, have you ever seen pictures of Humpty Dumpty? That he has the same fucking body. Like all the fat goes to it. Like it's all in his torso, and then his legs are like regular human. He has legs of a guy that's in fucking just in normal shape. Like it makes no sense that his legs were just attached to an egg. That's what it kind of looks like. But it was pathetic. The boxing match is off, unfortunately, because we all wanted to see him get beat up in the ring
but
too.
I didn't because I felt like it would have been very grim. It would have been funny for a moment.
Of course it would have.
It would have been funny for a moment, then it would have got like real sad. Like
it would have been like when Dad fought that other dude. It just would have been like
Watson?
that. Yeah, it would have just been like that. It would have been a quick
would have
ass
been worse,
whooping.
way worse than that. It would have been way worse because like at least Matt and Dad are like similar heights. Like Ethan Ralph is. I don't think he's tall enough to like go on roller coasters. Like he's so small.
I think
and yet so wide.
Ethan Ralph
probably too fucking heavy to be on them too.
Ethan Ralph would have got hit, fell down, and on his way up he would have he would have fell down, and him getting up would have fucked the whole vibe up. Like him trying to stand up would have fucked everyone's night. I would have been like, "Yo, this isn't funny." Like, what
if he had like a
here?
Rocky moment? Like he had like a Rocky 1 where he still loses, but like he was still showed courage.
In Rocky 1, it was like, oh, good, get up, Rocco, you got this. For Ethan Ralph, it'll be like, oh no, why did everyone?
Please,
his Rocky moment was that he would be punched in the head and then he'd go home talking like Rocky.
Yeah. Yo, Adrian, I did it. I did it.
That hit to the head did a lot of damage to me.
My brain has cracks in it.
I can't really think.
I got stream. I hate you, Andy Woski.
I really can't
hate you
think.
no more.
My memories aren't what they used to be. I can't think of things the same way. I don't know where
I can't remember my memories.
My memories.
I'm different now. My brain don't work the same no more. Maybe.
All right, let's go.
You want to go to Portugal?
The piece de resistance, the creme de la creme, and then we'll move on. It's just that while he has 2 kids now, I feel so bad for those. Yeah, I feel so bad for those women.
Is that legal?
It shouldn't be. But unfortunately, you can't turn someone's sperm. Well, you can, but you can't legally turn someone's sperm off. Unfortunately, so he has a kid that he has to pay child support, and that money that to use for child support went to Portugal, which is awesome. And he has a new kid. Because there's one that was taken away from him, because of course, and then the other one with this new girl. And instead of staying home, it's a new kid, being around with his family and his new wife, he's getting beaten up in Portugal. So you gotta give it up for the dedication. Like, I can't imagine being like a married person with a child and wanting to be anywhere like away from them. I want to make sure I'm right there providing for them, and not in Europe getting my face smashed in. So I'm telling you, I'm starting to feel pretty religious now, because I think an entity
I hate that
put this being on this earth for us. He's like Jesus in a way.
The fact that you're in my face telling me right
he's gonna
now
die
that
for
you
our,
gained
instead of
faith,
dying for our sins, he died for what?
You gained faith in God because of fucking Ethan Ralph.
Dude, instead of dying for our sins, he's dying for our entertainment. That's pretty
Shut
holy.
Your goddamn mouth. I hate
that's
you.
pretty.
I hate
that's
you.
pretty. Oh.
Man.
All right.
Oh man. As he fucking slowly turns off.
Why you keep hitting my face?
All right, let's go.
All right, let's move on. So what do we want? Let's see. So right now, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is like, as we record this, it's in deliberation. So it's possible that there might be a verdict by the end of this. It would be really annoying if we stop the show and it happens, because that's going to be exactly what I keep talking about, where just like, oh, nothing fucking happened. So I'm gonna keep Twitter kind of open on the side and keep an eye on it just in case. But I guess what we should talk about is the unfun thing, which is this whole gun conversation that's happening, and basically, we all know what happened. We all know like that there's a shooting in an elementary school. Very, very sad. It's fucked up. But this is probably the first time that I've ever seen just everybody unanimously just like, wow, what the, like, just shitting on those cops. It's the first time I've ever seen that, like, unanimous. Like, there are people on, like, the right doing it. There are people on the left doing it. Everybody in between is like, what the fuck is up with these people? And it's I don't want to call it a silver lining, because it's, like, fucked.
So don't.
That this is happening
Please
at all.
But
you know what I mean? It's nice to see that everyone just, like, can see this for what it is for once, which is just like, wow, that's really pathetic.
Right.
Like, you're fucking police officers. I had one person reply to me today, because I posted like a meme. It was like that Cuphead sunflower meme where it was just like, you know, where he's like in boss mode and it's like, oh, when a black man sells cigarettes versus when a teenager kills an entire school full of children.
Yeah.
But you know, I had one person being like, "Why is it the cops' responsibility?" And everybody, like, I'm pretty sure, like that. Yeah, everybody was just like, "Are you stupid? Are you dumb?"
I can't
go.
That's
so awesome. That's awesome.
This situation is so depressing.
Yeah,
that my brain is finding it so hard to make jokes about it. Like, I want to say shit about it and laugh, but I'm just so sad about it.
You can make jokes. Just make jokes about the
those
cops.
Things exactly. Finding those posts like that is what's pulling me out of it.
Because you know, like this last 2 weeks, 2 serious things happened because of just like the frivolous obtainability of guns in this country. You know, what was the last thing that happened before this? Those people that got
there was
switched in Buffalo.
There was Buffalo. Yeah. There was Buffalo, and then there was in California there was an Asian church that got shot up. Like
that's
these
right.
things. Yeah, so there was this holy trinity of gun violence, and the thing that's the perfect example of how gross this is. Michael Bisping was just commenting on how sad this is and how this should never happen. And that's it. Like, you know, he didn't say anything about gun violence or he didn't say anything about gun control. A guy replies and says, "Well, you know where they have great gun control? Back in the UK, where you should go. Don't try to change our laws." And like everyone was like, he didn't say anything. What is wrong with you? Why is that your first fast twitch? Your first reaction
we need our guns to protect us.
Don't touch my guns. I love these pieces of metal projecting other pieces of metal more than kids.
Derek.
I think I read a stat. I think I read a stat that was like
real quick, guys. Okay.
What?
Guys, we need our guns for revolution against tanks and drones.
Of course.
And private militaries with motherfuckers that could probably wipe out half a country. We need our AR-15s. You don't get it. You don't fucking understand. My pistol that I can't get because I'm black from Walmart. I need it. I need that. You don't fucking understand, guys.
Hey,
you don't get it,
dude. I want to directly address them peoples that use that lovely argument. I want to address that. If that were true, like I'm saying, like they actually want to use it to defend against a tyrannical government. Let's just say if they actually firmly believe that. Don't you think the people at January 6th would have brought guns with them? Because they believed the election was stolen and something needed to be done.
Yeah, that is true.
So they would bring their guns to do something. Like they know why they didn't bring their guns, because they would get Swiss cheesed by everyone. The fucking the cops, the fucking National Guard, the security, the FBI, like everyone would have showed up and just destroyed them. They would have been slaughtered.
Set them on fire. They would have got shot so much they would have set on fire.
So it's the argument, right? Like the argument
from
that they want to have
dawn,
that
they
shit.
just like die and like an explosion.
It's like, what the fuck?
The thing
that wasn't even a vampire. It was a guy.
The thing that's most frustrating about this is, like, to me, is like, look, I'm pro Second Amendment. I like guns. I think they're cool. Like,
I don't think you're pro Second Amendment. I think because look. I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to make it very clear what the Second Amendment is. It's literally to have a well-regulated militia,
right,
against the tyranny of the government.
Well,
that's all that is. It's not. It doesn't. If you're saying if you like guns, that's completely different from trying to say I pro Second Amendment.
Well, what I'm saying,
I think it's important to point out.
That's fair. But what I'm saying is, and I was talking about this with a couple of friends of mine last night, where it's like, guns are obviously the problem, right? It's gun violence, and it's like this is the only place that this happens in for a reason. It's because we have access to guns. It is also mental health, like significantly. People are sick.
It's
people
always
are
mental health. It
is always. I would right. But the thing is, it's like what we refuse to address is like the fact that like in this country we have a unique mix of horrible mental health and access to firearms.
Yeah.
So that is like a perfect, because like when I think about I do think like mental illness is just like skyrocketed in the last like 30 years. I think largely, and this might sound a little boomery, but like I do genuinely think like the internet has a lot to do with it. I think it's like recontextualized the way that we relate to the world around us. It's recontextualized the way that we socialize. It's recontextualized our relationship with like the life that we're supposed to have. It's done all of this shit, and I don't think it's been a positive thing. And I think it's like the perfect match set into this cocktail of guns and mental illness. But like, I don't think like I think people in Australia and the UK are just as mentally fucked. I just don't think that they have the weapons to do the damage that they can do here.
All over.
That's literally it.
That's
literally it.
And I want to say this too, where like you have people like Ted Cruz and like all these like specifically Republican politicians who are like, don't blame guns, it's mental health. And it's like, okay, fine. So how about, here's a crazy idea. How about we put a lot of funding into mental health care? Or maybe even a crazier idea, what if healthcare was accessible to everybody to help ameliorate?
Chris, you sound fucking stupid. Chris, you sound stupid. Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. You sound
you
fucking
liberal
dumb.
Cuck, you communist, you socialist cuck, you commie cuck.
This motherfucker said put money into fucking mental health and free healthcare. Bitch, get out of America. Fuck you.
You know what you sound like right now? You sound like right now that you are literally spreading Bernie Sanders' asshole and just dipping your head in it. That's how cucked you are, bro.
You sound like you absorb information properly and understand what you're absorbing. Shut the fuck up. Shut your bitch ass. This guy's stupid.
Yo, man.
It's just so funny to see these people be like, it's mental health. That's the problem. It's not the guns. And it's like, all right, let's solve mental health. No.
Whoa there.
Well, then what the fuck do you want? Like, do you want people to take your guns or not? Like, personally, like, I genuinely don't think that, look, I understand, like, the gun control people mean well, and I do genuinely think, like, there are loopholes that need to be shut down. You shouldn't be able to get a fucking gun at a gun show for, like, with, like, easier than I can get a car. You know what's fucked up? A lot of people, and this is propaganda. Like, I have a roommate, named Chris, great guy, but you know the type of he's a libertarian, but stuff that he watches has a lot of propaganda in it, and so we had a very normal discussion about this, and he said he's like, you know, the whole thing about the gun show buying without background check, you know that's not true, right? And I was like, that is real.
And I was like, who the fuck told you that? I was like, my friend Wyatt, I've multiple times, I'm gonna go to this gun show and I'm gonna get a bunch of shit. You want anything? Nah, I'm good, bro. Like I was like, but this is a problem. That these guys just say shit, and then people just believe them. They don't even see. It's kind of like
that's the ancient problem with this country. We live in a country for real where our previous president said they were going to build a wall between us and Mexico. The fact that anyone believed that ever is Barack Obama couldn't make college free for the first 2 years. How the fuck are we gonna get Mexico, the most corrupted place in North America, to build a wall to prevent their people from coming here? He said Mexico
was gonna build it. They're gonna fund it.
Mexico's gonna pay for it. Yeah.
People hear things and they're like, if it sounds good to them, their brain distances the logic from it. You know, where it's like, it's stupidity.
Well, I just wanted to finish the statement where it's like, I understand, that first of all, that is a real thing. Like I know people in my family who've gone to gun shows and gotten guns. It's very simple because it counts as a private sale. Literally. There's not a lot of regulation in private sales. It is total. It's not even illegally. Like it's totally legal.
You can go to a gun show and you can buy.
Do it.
You can go to a gun show and you can buy a modified handgun. You can buy a modified handgun near Army regulation. You can buy that and just have that with an extended mag and the fucking
What I'm saying is like that shouldn't be allowed. Like I'm not but like there are people who are like, oh, we gotta take all the guns away. You're never gonna do that. There are so many guns in the country that it is literally impossible. The genie's out of the bottle with that shit. Like, anybody who's like, we're gonna get rid of all the guns, we're gonna take everybody's guns away, we're gonna have, or we're gonna have like some, when Beto O'Rourke or somebody was like, we're gonna take your AR-15s. It's like, he's not gonna do that. It's not possible. There's maybe some things that they could do. It's like, maybe they could do like a buyback thing or like have like a tax thing. But like, in all likelihood, people like their guns. They're going to keep them. There's so many. You can't undo that. What you can do is make it harder for deranged teenagers to get their hands on it at gun shows, which I think is perfectly reasonable to want to do, and address the healthcare issue that is the main problem here, because there is no new type of gun that has been invented in the last 30 years since this has happened. Like, all of the weapons that are available to people and teenagers today were the weapons that were available to everybody before that, for a while before all of this shit was happening in the first place. This is a mental health problem, but nobody wants to fucking do anything about it, and it's annoying.
Well, it's why. Like, the whole thing is why. And the point that you were making before about, like, the guns are never going to go away, that's very true. I also feel like it's there's such a minority of people even wanting to say, oh, let's ban all guns. It's almost like, why are we even entertaining that? Yeah. Because number one, it would never happen. It's not even a thing that's actually going to happen. Number two, that's not what people that are advocating for gun control are not talking about getting guns. Because the vast majority of people, I'm talking about the most liberal people I've met, they all have guns. Like, everyone's like, oh, I have guns, I shoot guns. Everyone's like, dude, please listen to us. But it's usually the propaganda pieces that keep saying they want to take guns away.
Loud.
Like, if you look at the governors, if you look at the governor, if you look at the mayor, of these motherfuckers, the district, the people that run shit in Texas, they're like, oh, we're going to make it better, freer, more guns. Oh, our sales are down, California's beating us. We'll do, like, they're actively trying to pour more guns into, because obviously they're getting kickback from these companies. Like, when you look at fucking Ted Cruz, millions of dollars, you look at the most, Mitt Romney, fucking 10 million plus, like, I think like 13 million just backed by the NRA. This is why these people keep letting shit slide. And look at, and I want to say this, I think this is really important, because when you see people defend, like, the cops from not doing their jobs, which we'll get to in a second, right? When you see people defending the guns before they're defending kids, like, they don't care about, and this is just a sad thing, it's apathy. Like, people just don't actually care. Like, they when kids get shot, when they hear this, there's a lot of people, millions of people, that it doesn't do anything because it doesn't affect them. It's an unfortunate thing that's happening. So they're like, you taking guns away would actually affect me. Somebody else's kids getting killed would not affect me. So this is how they feel, and it's so fucked up. And this is how we get into this cycle of, oh, well, that sucks, but I don't want to be inconvenienced myself. And then you think about how ghoulish that actually is. That, like, these people care more about, like I said, pieces of metal projecting other pieces of metal than actual kids being fucking slaughtered. And that's the unfortunate reality.
I think I saw some stat that was like, it was like firearms are like the number one cause of death in children now.
Yeah.
Which is fucking wild.
That's so disgusting.
That is crazy.
So disgusting.
My 2 cents is that I think that for guns, I think that if you own property, especially if you live in an area that is particularly dangerous, I think you should have a piece on you. You should have a piece and an idea of protection. I think that is fine. Like, if you're in your house, you live in a place where something like that could happen. Let's say you live in, like, 1980s Inglewood, you should probably have a little bit of a piece just in case someone wants to break in your house and cause harm to your family. I don't really want a gun. I've shot guns multiple times. I don't like them. They make me feel uncomfortable. I just don't like them as creations. But I think for weapons, it should be the idea of that gun safety and possession of guns don't inherently nullify each other. And I think that's been the problem for so long, that people would assume that, like, oh, you can have more regulation for gun laws. That doesn't mean we're going to take away your guns. That just means there's going to be more regulation. That's it. People are like, no, you're going to take it from me. You're going to steal my baby. And it's like, dude. No, I think that if you want a gun, you should have to. I think if you want a firearm or you want to have a weapon, you should have to go through a class that's sort of rigorous enough that you have to really want it to have it.
Well, look at, dude, there's plenty of laws in other countries that already have, like, Japan is a great example of how strict it is to get a gun in Japan. You have to have interviews. The cops have to interview you. You have to have people to vouch for you. Now, imagine if that fucking guy that fucking shot at those kids try to get interviewed or try to have people vouch for him. They'd be like, fuck no. This motherfucker can't have a gun. And then problem fucking solved for that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's simple things that we can do easily, but it's not. We know it's not about that.
But Derek, he might have taken a knife and stabbed maybe 3 people.
Man, wow.
I love that fucking argument. I love the argument with like,
kill somebody with a knife.
If they did, and it's like, if they did ban guns, you're not going to get rid of. There's all these guns in Mexico. They're just going to get all the guns. I'm like, who do you know is going to go out of their way to go to it's so asinine. I made this as an example. You know how, say, maybe you're hungry, and let's just say this is pre fucking Postmates and all that shit. You're hungry and you're like, fuck, man, I don't want to cook. I just a little bit too lazy to go drive. You make the balance. You're like, fuck it, I'll just drive. It's easy. Now take the car out of the equation. Well, you're definitely just cooking. You're staying home. You're not going to fucking walk over there if you're barely lazy enough to just even drive. My point is, if you took away the easy access, like, most people are going to be like, fuck, like, so now this guy has to go cross the fucking border, find somebody and not get his head chopped off to get a fucking gun. Like, make it so much easier.
He's also a kid. Like, school shooters aren't the type to, like, get guns off the black market.
Most school shooters aren't long form planners, you know? I would assume most of them aren't like, they don't have blackboards and they're like, all right, to acquire the gun, I have to go here. So what I have to do is I have to save $500 over the next 6 months doing chores to be able to get this. Then this bus comes at 8:14. I got to make sure I'm on the bus. Now I'm gonna be in Mexico. I gotta study up on my Spanish. Like, no.
My Spanish.
One thing I do find, like, comedically. One thing I do find really poorly. One thing I do find really poorly thought out is the. I really don't know why they have school shooting drills. Like, it has never made sense to me why that's a thing.
I don't know.
So fucking
awful
that they
like earthquake or like tornado drills, like, those make sense to me because you're not teaching the earthquake where the kids are, you know. But like, school shooters are usually students.
What happens when happens with school shooters is that situation is already bad. Like, there's no, like, earthquakes.
Literally just running outside would be better.
Well, you run outside and one person is out. Like, then that's like, there's no alleviating that problem once that happens. You know, like, if there's
a lose-lose.
If there's an earthquake, go under a desk or get under a door frame. If it's a tornado, I don't know do with tornadoes. I've never had one of those drills. I mean, just hope the wind doesn't get inside.
Get in the bathtub.
The tornado places, usually it's like they have underground shit, you know, like, so they go underground.
But like, a school shooter,
we don't have
like,
that shit over here.
There's no fine. You know, like, there's no we can avoid this. If that guy walks in your room, it's very likely a bad situation, you know? Like, there's, like, the drill is to be able to help children. That's more or less for the mental aspect for the kids.
I don't know if that helps though. Like, I don't know if, like,
I don't know, but
I guess it's better than being completely caught off surprise
and
by not
screaming
even,
and having the kids scream.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's better than look at the fact that we even have this conversation is so fucked
It's horrible.
Up, right?
It's horrifying.
Because what should really happen is, like, you to your point, Chris, you're talking about natural disasters. Yes, we can't fight a fucking earthquake. The tectonic plates are gonna rub together, and with enough pressure, they're gonna fucking cause an earthquake. Okay, we get that. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do about that, so we have to prepare for that. The kids bringing guns to school and shooting other kids, well, there's something we can do about that. And that's not teaching kids how to defend themselves or try to hide. Yeah. It could be trying to deal with the problem to make sure it doesn't even fucking happen in the first place, right?
Because, like,
hold on, we should move on to these fucking cops who, like, everybody's making fun of.
1 second. This is one thing. Imagine someone comes into your school, right? Imagine we're back to being 5th graders, 8th graders, whatever, right?
That'd be terrible.
And, horrible to be an 8th grader now. I would hate it. I would be so different. But The idea, imagine we're there, right? Because this is what makes me mad, because I saw this on a creepypasta one time, and I got furious. Imagine, like, someone comes in with weapon, right? And you can hear them, like, shooting down the hallways and like that, and someone's like, no, don't hurt us! And you just look at that person, and you're like, you just let them know we're here. It's obvious we're here, but you gave them notice we're here. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna choke you. Because, like, now it's worse. Because now this guy definitely knows you're there. It was pretty obvious you were there to begin with.
Well, that actually kind of lends into something that we can talk about with the cops, actually.
Yeah. Because I can't remember when we started having school shooting drills, but, like, I remember,
I don't think I had one ever.
No, I don't think our generations did that.
I don't think I had one.
No, we had them.
You had them?
I don't think I had them.
Mm-hmm.
People brought guns to school constantly where I went to school, and I really don't remember them.
That situation is totally because most of those people just brought them because they're just fucking stupid, but they weren't trying to actually kill kids.
Most of them brought them to prevent anything from worse happening. Like, those were just strictly self-defense weapons, even though I don't condone it. You shouldn't be 17 with a pistol in school, you know?
You see that even in fucking these urban areas, right? A lot of guns are circulated through the school. A lot of kids do bring, but you're not hearing these fucking mass shootings because they're not fucking, you know, like there is that equation, right? There is the easy accessible guns, and then there's these crazy motherfuckers, right? Now we got to do something about both of them. Other countries, they did shit about the guns. They're working on their mental health. They're doing better. Yeah, there's high rates, especially in Scandinavia, but there's also studies about that. Usually, the more privileged people are, the more mental health they have because they have more time to think about woe and misery and all this shit and feel less fulfilled. And you have less sun, which is a big thing with serotonin, blah, blah, blah.
That shit's real. I can't believe that. I can't believe that at all.
Yeah, but there's no guns in huge circulation, so they're not just woo, you know, like going all crazy and shit. So obviously, guns are the fucking problem. Let's talk about the pigs now.
Someone coming to Yosemite Sam your school up.
Let's talk about these fucking pigs, dude.
Yeah. So as I understand it, basically the police were called and they just sort of stood outside as this dude was gunning kids. It's so insane to think about because
it doesn't sound real. That's what makes it crazy.
It doesn't sound real, but it is because there's video of it and like people outside the school being like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" It's like, "Oh, we gotta wait 40 minutes for backup." It's like 40 minutes. Listen, man, I'm not a school shooter. 40 minutes is enough for me to do some work. That is a lot of time to give a school shooter. 40 fucking minutes? And they were just standing out there. They were standing out there hearing people hearing children scream, dude. Hearing like bullets echo through this fucking hall. Like that is insane to me that like you as a person would just like how do you as a normal person not just, you know what, we're ordered to stay here, but like I'm going rogue. Like I'm a fucking police officer. Like come the fuck on, dude.
Bro, you know what's fucked up? That is not even protocol. Like when you fucking if you look at what they're supposed to do in this scenario, they're supposed to rush in. That is the first that there's literally supposed to do that. As soon as
someone reveals a firearm, you have to detain them. That's literally how it works.
And then they're just like, oh, this nigga has some type of vest or something, and then somebody got shot at. We're scared. And then so they're like, we need more. Like, no, dude. Literally, you sign up for this fucking job. Go put your life on the line to save kids. Like, it's that fucking
Weenie Hut Jr., man. Fucking Weenie Hut Jr. police officers.
What's the point of becoming like cops are supposed to be
what the point
heroes. They're the samurais. They're the knights. That's what police officers are.
Oh no, but like, dude, like I saw somebody.
But
I saw somebody who was like, well, you wouldn't go in there. And it's like,
yeah.
First of all,
I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop.
I'm not a cop. I didn't sign up for that job. Second of all, I honestly don't know. I feel like I would be morally fucking compelled as an adult hearing kids get shot the fuck up and go in. I don't know if that's true. I can't say that I would or wouldn't because I don't know what it's like to be in that situation. But that's not my fucking job. That's their job, dude. Right. Don't fucking. It's insane.
I can say.
I'll literally take it a step further. Yeah, it's not our job. I will speak for myself that in that particular scenario, when the cops are holding the people back, I 100% would have rallied the parents to be like, I'm going in regardless of what the fuck you say. You have to shoot me, that's fine, and you will be fucking a pariah forever. I'm telling you, in a scenario like that, I feel like it's a normal human reaction, but when it comes to protecting children, like, I remember somebody asked me, like, whatever I talk about, like, kids being molested or raped or whatever, someone's asked me, like, were you ever abused because of the reaction you had? Like, I usually get very teary-eyed just even talking about it, because it's such a grotesque thing to think about. Like, I'm telling you right now, I easily would have put my life on the line. Easily in that scenario.
My heart, I wouldn't have been able to
when it comes to protecting, like, innocent kids that are just trying to go to fucking school, or like kids that are like, are in daycare, or they're in their fucking school and their priest is trying to diddle, like, when it comes to that shit, like, I have no problem either going to prison or risking my life to either exact revenge or to try to save these kids. I can say that right now, there would be no paralyzed, just like those parents, they wanted to do something. However, I just feel like there wasn't enough of a fuck these cops. Yeah. I don't care what happens. I'm going. I do not care. And I'm telling you, like, and I probably would have gotten shot by one of those.
Well, the parents,
and it would have been a goddamn disaster.
The parents are also not armed. You know, like, even if they want to do something, like, what the fuck are they going to do? Like, it's literally
it's not about
the cops' job. No, I know what you're saying, but, like, I mean, like, it's just so crazy that
you may be just a 100% liability, but you're still going to try something anyway. That's just kind of like how that goes.
That's the idea, because, like, I don't know, like, I've been in pretty tense situations, and I've usually been able to use my head in those situations, you know? But the idea is that, like, you could hear that. You could probably hear that. You know, like, that. It's a different thing. Because I can say I would want to do it, but, like, you know, at the same time, if my kid was there, I'm in. I'm going. I'm running like an idiot.
I missed that from the equation. Let's put that as part of the equation.
I'm running in there like an idiot.
I'm talking as if I'm literally there because my kid attends that fucking school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go. Like, there's no, like, the parents that were there, and they're like, oh my God, this literally a guy that had his fucking daughter killed. He's there. Like, what the fuck? They're like, let us in. And who knows? Maybe his daughter would have been saved. Like, who knows? But it's an
unfortunate situation, and it's the idea that,
it's
like,
the craziest. It's the craziest scenario. It's literally the thing that everybody, and then you had fucking Greg Abbott, that fucking human piece of filth, which fucking, like, I was, man, I can't express to you how disappointed I am at Joe Rogan, where he's like, oh, I met with Greg Abbott and fucking Rob DeSantis, the fucking good guys. They're really trying to protect our freedoms and shit. And then this type of shit happens. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, these are the type of people that you fucking love. And you move to fucking Texas, backwards ass fucking Texas. I know there's a lot of good people there, but you're moving there specifically so people can get away from fucking responsibility. And it's so fucking gross, dude. It's so gross. And then he won't fucking back down on this shit. This dude has too much money. He's too comfortable. And then you know what I'm saying?
I lost. I was never that big. I was never that big on Joe Rogan, but, like, I remember seeing something like a couple of years ago that, like, put me off him entirely. Where he was like, do you remember Dan Crenshaw, the eye patch?
The fucking reverse fucking big boss.
Yeah. He was talking. He was talking about Pete Davidson and how he joked about his eye patch on Saturday Night Live or whatever. Yeah. And then he was like, I don't know, man, to, like, make fun of the guy for going in war, man. Like, that's fucking weird, dude. And it's like, you're a comedian. Like, what are you talking about? Are you serious?
He's said way worse than that.
Yeah, he said way worse. Like, there's a supercut of him saying the N-word 40 times. Like, are you joking?
Yo,
you can't just make fun of the guy. The guy looks like Big Boss, and he's obviously, like, on a show trying to be funny. Like, the intent is comedy. Like, even if the joke is a bad joke and it's not funny, like, the idea that, like, a comedian would go on his podcast and be like, oh man, I don't know, I just don't think you should be making fun of somebody who, like, he was talking about, like, how he laid his life on the line for, you know, and it's like, bro, I don't know, you're in the wrong profession if you really think that.
I think,
like, it's insane.
I think the guys of
how do you sit and defend Chappelle if you can't handle that? Like, are you kidding?
Look, I personally, myself, I think the phrase, it's comedy, you're a comedian, I don't exactly always agree with that, because I think there's context, you know?
The context is that he's a comedian and he's doing comedy. That is the context.
Like in a grander scale, it's like, you know, like there are certain things you kind of just leave be, you know? You can be funny without going certain places, you know. And I myself,
I don't think there's anything wrong with making.
I don't think there's anything wrong with particularly making fun of that either. I know, but like there are certain places you just try not to go. You know, that's my belief as someone that makes jokes. I don't consider myself a comedian at all, but I consider myself somebody that makes jokes.
Well, that would be why.
And yeah, you know, because it's like I'm gonna stay back. There's other places I could go instead of like right here. This is a little too obvious. It's not my alley. But at the same time, it's just like. That's not the worst thing. Like come on, Rogan. But he's done like over the like last year particularly. Rogan was fucking up. He was fucking up a lot in 2021, and I was just like,
he lost his mind.
Yo,
I feel like I really do feel like he's just lost it. I don't know what the fuck's 100%. Going on.
I think like getting COVID like was the nail in the coffin. I literally think it rotted his brain. I'm not even joking. I think him getting COVID just broke him, because he was already starting to be weird. And then if you look at the telltale signs, if you look at who he follows on Twitter, who he mainly gets his news from, why he thought ivermectin was a fucking thing that actually worked, you know, why he fucking retweeted a fucking Reuters article that fucked up. Reuters fucked up. They jumped the gun. Where they just said there was a response. There was a reaction to ivermectin and fucking to the virus in a fucking petri dish, right? But you can get the same results by putting in most chemicals like bleach or whatever. Doesn't mean that it's gonna work once you fucking put it in your body. You know, they haven't done those trials at all. And then Rogan's like, well, look at here, like it worked. 80,000 likes, 20,000 retweets. Later figures out that he fucks up, just quietly deletes it. This guy doesn't give a fuck about people, right? Instead of being like, I'm sorry guys, I fucked up, I need to retract this. I jumped the gun. Nope, just quietly delete it. When your fucking people that believe in you are just eating this shit up, that right there did not used to be this guy. He used to be so bothered by when he got backlash for not asking the proper questions to the Jack Dorsey or whatever, the former CEO of Twitter. He got all that backlash and he was so bothered that he had another round of it. And he was like, I'm sorry guys, I feel like I let you down. When hindsight, when I think about that, I'm like, it's your podcast. Ask what questions you want. If you don't want to make Jack feel uncomfortable, that's your fucking podcast. In hindsight, when I think about that, I'm like, all of them should have fucked the hell off. And then now he's just like, well, I don't care. Oh, people are fucking following my advice. You shouldn't take the fucking vaccine if you're like in your fucking 20s and you're healthy. Oh, who fucking cares? I'm like, this guy is he's different. He's different. He's a different person.
He's gotten what happens like everybody is he's gotten too large of a group of people following him. And
he's gotten too gay. He's sucking too much conservative.
And I think that got to his
conservative
head.
Cock, dude.
Because I don't know, man. Like I just don't think a lot of people are cut out to be people that are followed, you know? Like a lot of people are just like, I'm doing shit, I'm saying shit, and eventually at some point you're just like, oh, people are listening. Thousands of millions of people base their opinion on what I say. Joe Rogan, a mixed martial artist, a guy that did fucking Fear Factor. No shade to him. He's done good with his life. He's a comedian, but like he's not someone.
No, let me tell you this. Let me tell you. Sorry, I just want real quick. Let me tell you. This is what happened, and it's happening with everybody. That's like even dabbling with politics. People that consider themselves center left or whatever, they felt betrayed by who they saw as their tribe. Everyone starts shitting on them, and then they found a home in the right who will take anyone. As long as you preach their gospel, they'll take you. It doesn't matter even if you used to be against them. They'll just take you. Like, welcome, brother. And he's done the same exact thing that fucking Dave Rubin, that fucking Tim Pool, that fucking Candace Owens, that fucking Jimmy Dore that fucking spat on Alex Jones. Used to fucking despise Alex Jones enough to where he spat in his face. And now he's saying very similar things. Anti-vax this and all this, that. This accepting the party and the people that don't care about anything other than you just agreeing with their ideals. It's fucking
money.
crazy.
There's so much money in it, bro.
Fat money.
So much money.
Yeah, and the money. I mean, that should be a given. But it's also
do it for
like
money. Fuck it, dude.
It feels good. it doesn't, because Joe Rogan's gonna get a bunch of money regardless. He got the big Spotify deal. He didn't have to fucking lean on the right. He was gonna get that deal regardless. Hundreds of millions of dollars. But it feels bad to have the people that you want to ally with constantly shitting on you. So why not just fucking hang out with these guys who won't say a bad thing about you ever? Even if you literally sexually assaulted somebody. Even if you literally did something heinous, they'll be like, "Oh, that's just propaganda. They're just trying to come after you," which Elon Musk is doing right now.
Unless you're Dave Rubin and you want to have a kid.
All right, unless you're
that switch was legendary, bro. That
and then they'll bully you for
legendary.
fucking weeks, and then you'll come out and be like, "Actually, everybody's been super kind." It's like,
bro,
that is amazing. Dude, I love it. That's so good.
Dude, I just want to.
That shit was so funny.
I just want to be clear. Like what we're saying, I want to be very clear about this because I do genuinely feel like this is probably not a unique thing to us, but becoming a rarer thing in the podcast space. When we are having. We are talking about subjects right now that are important, that are, that are politically charged, that are very, divisive. But when we talk about this shit, we are telling you exactly how we feel, exactly how we think about it. I'm sure there are people who are listening to this who are probably going to be frustrated that we're talking about Joe Rogan in this way, or who are frustrated that we're taking a certain side in the gun conversation or whatever. But like, I need you guys to understand, whether you disagree with us or not, that we are coming at this from a genuine perspective.
It is not lies.
We are not shifting shit to fit like any particular audience. If we shed people, if we gain people, fucking whatever. The whole point of this is to have a platform where we can actually speak freely. And there 100%. Are a lot of people who I don't believe are speaking freely. There are a lot of people who I believe sincerely are going out there and saying shit that they don't agree with. And I know this for a fact because I've had conversations with some of these people. And they say verbatim, I don't know. I just say shit because people want to hear it, and it's entertaining, and it makes us money, and it keeps us growing, and it keeps them loyal, and let's do it. Fucking whatever.
These are
that's not our goal here.
These are perspectives that we've had and held for years. These aren't new things. No one's randomly out of the blue. Like if you caught me on the street and somehow this conversation came up, these would be the same things that I'd be telling you to your face. It wouldn't be. This is not. Oh, we're trying to get this sort of group to add ad revenue or get these ads. No, this is just what we believe.
I just wanted to say that because I know that there's like there are pandering accusations, and I understand that because like a lot of it's a fucking common thing. I see it.
I don't understand it. Why? Because if you use your fucking eyes, and I mean, just look, you piece of shit. I said this I just dropped a video today. What is it? Today's the 27th. So I just dropped a video today on the 27th. I specifically, because I was shitting on Candace Owens, and I said, if I did what Candace Owens and what the Hodge twins and what Dave Rubin and what Jimmy Dore and what Tim Pool did and all those fucking people quartering, I'd be a millionaire right now. Easily.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Easily.
Yeah, sure.
I've had offers to join certain organizations that would have paid me handsomely to speak at stupid colleges that I have no fucking. What the fuck?
Dude,
I'm not religious. I'm like, dude, I don't fucking care about this shit. I'm like, no, sorry. I've even gotten angry replies to turn it down. I'm like, nah, dude, it's not my bag. Because I guess a lot of these people aren't used to being refused because people are just, money, give me money. And I'm like, as long as I'm eating and playing games, I'm happy. So
not every bag is a good bag.
Right. Not every bag is a good bag. And a lot of these people, the bottom line is their bottom line, getting some fucking money.
Absolutely.
Me, I'm an artist, dude. I just want to be happy doing my thing, and I don't want to sell my fucking soul. Like I like legitimately, if I were a piece of shit, I kind of wish I was, to be honest. Be real.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wish
it'd be easier.
It would be so nice to just be like, they won't take our guns away, dude. I will get donations. I would have well over 1 million subs on my channel. It'd be getting hundred. Like the fact that I just tell it like it is. When I make fun of the people that were crying about Biden and shit, all these people are saying the election's stolen. That you're a fucking idiot, and there's no evidence to that. Stop listening to this bullshit. I'm losing subscribers for some people that are just fucking lunatics. I'm like, bye. And the same thing about the gun thing. I said on Instagram that. Please unfollow me. I don't normally say this, but I was like, please unfollow me if anything that I'm saying right now is like, because all I cared about in this scenario with the shooting is protecting kids that need to be protected. That's all I care about. Fuck guns. I said this specifically. this is never going to happen, but in a parallel universe, in a scenario that there was a chance to get rid of all guns except for the people that needed them, like hunters and protectors and stuff like that, I would gladly turn in my fucking 12 gauge. I'm saying this in a scenario that would never actually happen. This is never going to happen. But I'm saying if that was a real scenario, like a scenario like fucking Australia, I think getting rid of this shit is more important. Like, I think protecting kids is more important than keeping these fucking guns that the vast majority of people are only using for hobbies. The vast majority, 90-something% of people are using guns for fucking hobbies.
Absolutely.
The other small percentage that are using for hunting because they got to get the meat and they got to people that got to protect, obviously, the security and all that. That's such a small percentage. So I'm saying in that scenario, if I'm offending you by saying that, I said, please unfollow me because it's showing you that you care about this metal more than fucking kids being alive. And I'm saying, like, I'm not apologizing for that shit. I'll take it one step further. I genuinely think, because this isn't just a partisan fucking issue to me. This is literally about protecting kids. If you have a problem with what I'm saying, and if you don't think that is a sensible thing to say, that protecting kids is more important than you keeping your hobby gun, then I'm like, you can unfollow me. I think you're a piece of shit. I'm sorry, there's no way around that. Now I know that's a thing. That's just me. That's not Chris. That's not Sweeney saying that.
No,
that was me on my Instagram.
I 100% agree with that, dude. Like these are lives of young people, dude. Their lives shouldn't be snuffed out because of the fact that you want to keep your guns. I don't agree with that.
You just want to keep it.
I don't
That's
agree
the
with
thing.
that.
You want to keep it like they want to keep it for just the sport, for the hobby. And I'm saying, dude, I
think it's deeper than a hobby or the sport. I think it's the idea of the power that comes with a gun.
Well, there is no real power, though.
No, there is power that comes with a gun.
Most people aren't doing anything with their guns.
They're not doing anything with them. You're right. They're not. But when you have a gun...
So what power do you gain from them?
When you have a gun, you have the theoretical power to be like, I can shoot someone. If someone threatens me, I can end them.
Theoretical power is the gayest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
But it's
so fucking stupid.
It's
that
stupid.
Is the gayest. It's like
Derek,
it's literally
stupid.
stockpiling money and then just living in a shack. What the fuck are you talking
Derek,
about?
It's right.
I have the
You're right.
theoretical power to buy a fucking mansion.
You're
and
right.
And I'm just not going to.
You're right. You are correct. But that is how the way people think, dude. People think in these stupid, unuseful, deranged mentalities, dude. You're right.
Fair enough. No, and I'll concede to that. Fair enough, dude. All I'm trying to say is, just in that extreme scenario that would never happen in the United States. We all know that would never happen. If that were real, I would be willing, because here's the real thing. Most people would be willing to sacrifice their own lives. Most parents would be willing to sacrifice their own lives to save their own children, obviously. But it's sad that most people won't be willing to sacrifice these guns to save other people's children. And I'm like, that's a fucking problem with me. Somebody who genuinely cares about humanity, that's a fucking problem. And I'm saying this is a scenario that's not going to happen, and people can't even fucking admit to that and say that, like, okay, the way you broke it down, okay, no, they're like, nope, guns, and I'm like, all right, bro. I'm like, I can't talk to you.
It's the system of the problem.
I feel like what is deeply necessary, considering getting rid of guns is impossible,
right,
is just the acknowledgement that mental health is serious,
right,
and look, man, I've been saying this for as long as I've had my YouTube channel, or as long as I've been posting like professionally on my YouTube channel. If we had just access to healthcare and mental health care, and it wasn't going to, like, dude, even like when I was like looking for therapists because I knew it was like a thing that I should probably do, like, dude, shit's expensive.
Right.
Shit's insane. Like, a psychiatrist is stupid expensive, and like prescription like medicine for like psychiatric treatment is like stupid expensive, and that's me. Like, I'm doing like way better than a lot of people my age bracket, generally speaking. You know what I mean? Like, I lucked out with this career path. And I still look at that and I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy expensive and really inaccessible. So, like, of course, there's a bunch of sick people on the street who are mentally all fucked up. And, like, of course, they're
back.
Like,
every single problem harkens back to homelessness, prejudice, all these unnecessary deaths.
We need to provide. We need to provide for the less fortunate Like that includes people that are mentally ill.
People that are that have drug problems.
Yeah, what's that saying? What's that saying? Like you're only as strong as your weakest link or whatever?
Weakest, yeah. That is 100. That is so fucking true, man. Like the way that we treat homeless people, the fucking like it's disgusting. The fucking like the way that dude. So I can't believe this happened to me. So I lived in California. I'm in Vegas now, but I was in California, and luckily in California, it's kind of like the rest of the world with the healthcare, where if you truly need it, they'll give it to you. Like if you're fucked, they'll give it to you. They covered me. I was covered even at my brokest time. Paid nothing. Fucking all the procedures, everything I needed done. I didn't pay a dime. Right? It was just we just paid taxes for it. The thing is, it needs to be better, because even when I was struggling with my my hormones crash, my testosterone crash, and all this shit. The healthcare was so subpar that I had to dip into the private sector. I had to go to a clinic. I had to pay a lot of fucking money, and that was the only way, because we're still not funneling enough money into healthcare. And then the saddest thing is, I guess, about all of this shit is that when you talk to anybody, even the most conservative motherfucker, when you really break this stuff down, they'll agree with this. Like, oh yeah, universal health care sounds good. Hey man, wouldn't you like an extra $1,200 in your pocket each month for universal basic income? They're like, oh yeah, I could do a lot of shit with that. But then the way that their pundits will spin it is by saying it's gonna make people lazy. And I'm like, who the fuck's just living off of $1,200 fucking dollars, dude? Like, wouldn't you keep? It's out of your pocket.
You shouldn't have to pay for
let me tell you, are you gonna quit your job right now if you got an extra $1,200? Like, what the fuck?
No, it would just help me pay my bills better.
It would help me pay my bills so that I can put more effort into what I'm doing, into entrepreneurship. Like the way that these people try to spin stuff is so fucked up. But then when you talk to them on a regular, basic human level, like, hey man, wouldn't it be better if you didn't have to pay all this fucking money for your kid's college? Wouldn't this be awesome? Like, wouldn't it be awesome if you didn't have to pay all this money if your kid had cancer? You didn't have to go fucking bankrupt and have to do a second and third mortgage.
And people have
that sounds great.
People losing their lives.
Do you know how much you would have to pay on average for everybody collectively to pay taxes? You wouldn't even notice. It would just be a few less cups of fucking Starbucks coffee, bitch. Like, it's stuff like that, where when you talk to them and you break it down in that real way, they're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. But unfortunately, these fucking lobbyists have their fucking gross-ass paws into the people that they watch, like Tucker Carlson and shit, that'll just keep telling them all this fucking bullshit, lies and falsehoods.
What was that fucking, that thing that Elon Musk tweeted out the other day? Where he was like, who do you distrust more, billionaires or politicians? and I remember being like, what's the fundamental like? It's like, what do you trust less? The problem or the reason
for the problem? These
people are the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, it's such a weird thing. It's like politicians are a problem because they're bribed by incredibly rich people.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
This is the same. Like, there's no difference in these options at all. It's fucking ridiculous.
And he knows this, and that's so disgusting. And dude, did you see what Elon Musk did recently about? He's been hinting that he's been owning the libs for a while now, but he just recently came out and said, "Oh, the Democrats used to be the party of what is it? Of like kindness or whatever, but now they're the party of hate and division." Which is hilarious to say that. Which is hilarious, even though like they're not the ones that are trying to repeal Roe v. Wade. They're not the like it's a silly thing to even argue. It's so stupid. But the reason, and then he follows by saying, "Now watch me. I've registered as a Republican." He says I'm a Republican now. He says, "Now watch the attacks pour in," and coincidentally, all of a sudden allegations of him sexually assaulting a woman and exposing himself pops up and all this shit, right? And I think I'm like, you slimy fuck, you're doing what you're doing it. He's using the fucking Republicans as a shield. He's saying, oh, I'm a Republican, that's why they're coming, now that's why they're smearing me, when that shit was already gonna come out. And I'm like, you are a brilliant evil fuck. You are so fucking
I used to be pretty indifferent to Elon Musk.
I used to like him until I recently heard this, actually.
I thought he was kind of interesting. Like, he was just sort of like, all right, this is an interesting feller. He's like making flamethrowers or whatever. And I like Tesla generally speaking. I think it's generally a good idea, and it's probably an important good that is contributed to the world overall.
Yeah.
But I don't even hate Elon Musk. I just find him like really cringe. like when he was
Super
on
cringe.
SNL. I think when I saw him on SNL was like the time where I was like, this is not
Final straw.
This is like I can handle a lot of things,
It
but
was
like
pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
you gotta
But
be
Think about
like
his.
you have to be really.
So cringy.
It was so unfunny that I couldn't believe it because it was Saturday Night Live. It's already
And
not.
I was about to say
particularly
that's
funny.
saying a lot for SNL.
Yeah, like when Bernie Sanders as a man is unironically like way funnier. Like it's just such a weird fucking situation. But
Right.
I mean, we've talked about it quite extensively. I
people,
think
we're gonna get our comments of people being upset.
I'm sure people are going to be upset,
Like,
but like,
hey.
listen, I want everybody to know, like, this is just what we think, like, sincerely.
And,
like,
and
if you
another comment before we end this, the idea that people could have fallen into our bases and not known this about us when none of us have hit, like, every time something happens that's really fucked up, I post on Twitter and I'm like, my heart goes out to these people and I have a moment where I vent and I talk about the problem and how I feel it should be fixed. And somehow, through some means, people are like, I can't believe this is where you stand, blah, blah. It's like, when have I ever stood anywhere else? I guess they find out because of the comedic nature of who I am. They come and they're like, oh, you're making jokes, blah, blah, blah. You're funny. But like every time something happens, I'm always on the same side. Every time I'm always on this side.
There are people like that who reply to me sometimes, and I'll be like, okay, well, I'll just like, what I'll do is I'll block him and unblock him. So then that way they're like not following him anymore, because it's like, I don't know why you're following me in the first place.
I've
Like
done that once.
I've been so transparent about all of this for so long that you, and it's not even that. By the way, like if people disagree with me, that's fine. But it's like the people who are like somehow like surprised, who are like, wow, you changed or something, and I'm like, bro,
it's like,
that's like,
where did
if you have followed me for a long time, and you disagree with the stuff and you pose an argument, or like you ask me a genuine question about what, like, that's like, I don't give a shit about that at all. That's fine. But like, it's the people who act surprised by it.
We'll see
Or
what
like,
it is.
or the people who think it's somehow hypocritical to like think so many things are funny while also like happening to think relatively liberally.
I
It's like, this used to be a common thing.
You know what I think it is, though, dude?
Comedy's how I cope.
I think people are. I think people are like watching in like such a weird biased point of view it's like a projective point of view, where I use this as a great example. I made a video about Riley Dennis, if you remember her, and the video was specifically about her ideology, which was violence against hate speech is defense. Basically, you should beat people up when they use hate speech, because eventually it's most likely going to lead to violence anyway. And I thought that was such a wild thing, because you know, like, let's say if that was like the president echoed that shit, then people just start whooping everyone's ass for saying no hateful shit, right? It would be chaos. It'd be a nightmare. I made a video saying like how fucking stupid that is and dangerous that is. Literally did not give one single flying fuck that she's trans, but read some of the comments and like, why are you calling them she? Why are you this? And I'm like, get the fuck off my channel, dude. Like, what are we like? So these people were
we're talking
here.
about the
I'm
arguments
assuming,
here.
right? These people were here assuming that like, he's just gonna dunk on this tranny, you know, like that's basically the type of feeling they had.
Dude,
that those people.
I get accused of having made videos about that person, and I never did. Like, like I had somebody who was like, "This is the same guy who made videos about Milo Stewart and Riley Dennis." And I was like, I never did that. Because I don't know anything about that shit.
Milo Stewart. I made one about her because of that very reason.
Guys.
Didn't make any videos about Milo Stewart because I did like, some kid transitioning to something. Why do I give a fuck about this?
Again, friend, it harkens back to mental health. Again.
That's true.
Again, it's just
it's
people's inability to absorb information correctly. They're like, oh, this is what I want to absorb. This is it. And it's like, Sween, you make fun of things all the time. You think this is not funny? It's like, no, I make fun of hypothetical things or outrageous things. But you know what is not outrageous? You know what's just horrible? lives being lost when they just don't have to be. There's nothing comedic about these things. It's not funny, you know? I use the N-word. I say the N-word and I chuckle because the idea of that word's existence is hilarious to me because of the idea of it separating a person simply based on their color. But someone having a gun with that on it and then particularly aiming to kill people of that group is not funny. That's not a joke. Right. That's just evil.
That's all right.
We're looping back in on things.
Update. No verdict. Deliberations are gonna resume on Tuesday.
Stupid
good.
Bullshit.
We got time. Damn it.
We do have time, so we can talk about it in the next episode. So
yeah, there we go.
It's better than fucking literally stopping record and then all of a sudden Johnny Depp's being hanged.
He's dangling.
He's literally
he's getting hung like in Pirates. Like actually, it's the same scene. They put the same clothes on him, and it's like he's like, "Yo, can they do this to him?"
Like, wait, that wasn't even what this is about. This wasn't him. Doesn't he need to be sentenced in another date? No, they just went, you lost, and then literally the gallows is immediately rolled out.
And he's like,
he just lost.
He's just looking around.
There's an old school 90s boombox, and then they put the fucking Pirates theme on
dun,
and shit.
Dun, dun,
and then
dun, dun,
like,
dun, dun. And the clown shows up somehow.
They wrap they wrap a noose around his neck, and then they raise a guillotine sideways up his body. They're gonna cut his head off sideways with a guillotine as he's being hung. It's like, this is a fucking crazy. This is a crazy fucking verdict. It's like a ridiculous sentence.
The idea.
Do you guys? Who do you guys think is gonna win?
I think Amber Heard's gonna win.
Well, why do you think that?
Because she's a woman, and in those cases, they just have such an unnecessary power bonus. That even though I think Johnny's lawyer has been doing better. I think Amber Heard's lawyer is horrible. I think her defense has been terrible, but she's still a woman. You know,
if Amber Heard wins, I don't want to hear sexism is over. I don't want to hear a single thing about it.
I mean, I don't
want to hear. I don't want to hear a single thing about it from here on out. Like, it's over. It's
I'll
over.
definitely reap the benefits of that mentality being spread, but I don't agree with it. Like, I'll definitely use that mentality to advance my life.
I mean, come on. Obviously, like we're come on.
I think serious.
I mean, it's pretty. I mean, dude, as long as alimony's still a thing, like we already like it's never.
That's true.
It's like we're still. That is the worst shit ever.
What if they abolish alimony? Imagine,
dude,
like after this, I'd be like, "Yo, jackpot! I don't got to give this bitch shit because I didn't."
It's fucking
want
crazy.
That.
How could you build an empire your entire life and then marry somebody for like a few minutes and then divorce them and then they get half your shit? Like, you know, I'm obviously fucking hyperbole, but I'm just saying. You can essentially that scenario where it's like, this has been my money my entire life. This person came into my life for a fraction of the time, and now I owe them half of my shit. I got to give them so much money per month. Like it is shockingly like, how are we still dealing with this? And it's one of those scenarios. It's one of those scenarios where it's like, if it were reversed, it would be fixed. Now it would be fixed. It's kind of like, say, when it's time to get hard on guns. It's because minorities have guns. It's like when the Black Panthers started rising up with guns. We got to crack down on those guns now.
Oh no,
you know?
you guys can't legally. You guys can't legally have those guns. That shit is hilarious. That was that's the funniest moment in American history that's not taught at all in school. That moment should be taught in school to just simply display the degree of prejudice in the world, but no one talks about that. I learned that in college, and I was just like, "What?"
I mean, it's like what the Roe v. Wade thing. Like the judge, some thing was passed that you can't what is it called? Protest. You can't protest the judges to try to sway their opinions. You know, like they passed that shit so fast. You know, because it's at their expense, right? But anything else, they'll sit on it. You know.
It is impressive how much Congress can get, like how fast they can work when they're like personally threatened versus how slowly they fucking work for everything else. Like, we just couldn't figure it out. We'll come back next year.
What bothers me so much is that like the idea of the gridlocks and like the standstills in Congress. I just wish someone just I like
The world needs a Morbius.
we need villains. Yeah,
Right.
we need people
Right.
that are willing to be like, yo, if
need a
you don't get this
vampire.
done, because it's like the idea like you guys probably never read Dune, but there was a character.
I've read Morbius.
Yeah.
There was
Morbius
a
is
character.
fucking great.
There was a character named Leto the Second. What he did was
Leto?
Leto the Second.
Jared Leto the second?
No, it's
Leto
so
the second?
funny that his
The
name is
actor?
Leto. That's so fucking ridiculous. But he becomes like the god emperor of the universe, and what he does is purposefully to spark the kindle the spark of individuality. He completely strips the universe of it. Like
He morbs
like
it.
he morbs. He in fact morbs it. And what happens is in the time that he's doing that, what he's doing is since he's stoking the human spirit, when they're free, everyone is like, we're going to go find our way the right way we feel it. But like we need someone to be like, Congress, like we can't pass this bill. This is not happening. Some guy walks in and he has a sword and is like, he has a sword and he sits down real calm like, and he's like, if nothing changes within the next 45 minutes, it's going to be a huge mess in here. And he just sits down quietly and waits. And I bet then people will be like, you know what? Man, these ideas seem really...
I gotta say, Dune, from a story perspective, doesn't seem like it has the storytelling chops or the, the cultural significance to stand out quite like
Morbius
has.
Right.
I am astounded that Morbius is still trending today. I don't know when this movie came out. I don't remember. Like, I think it was like weeks ago at this point.
Morbius came out in April.
Are you serious? It's almost June. It's gonna be June, and it's
What
still fucking trending.
What happens is
That
this
is
is what
crazy.
happened. This is what happened. Let me explain to you exactly how it happened. What the problem is that Morbius, I don't think many people saw it. And then it came out on DVD recently, and everyone got a chance to absorb and view it.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, I watched
What?
it when it became digitally downloadable.
Wait, really? Like, where was it digitally downloaded?
Everywhere.
Well, like
I want to get it. Let's.
I mean, I have a specific website that I use.
I was sent a link. I was sent a link to it,
right,
and I mistakenly downloaded it.
Morbius.
Yeah.
Morbius.movie.
Come
You can get all sorts of tickets for Morbius. It's still in theaters.
me down.
I'm telling you.
Morbius. Dude, I can't believe that this movie's real. Like, I was just watching a video on Spider-Man the Animated Series and how insane like Morbius is in that fucking joke. Because he's like, they couldn't say blood.
I need the plasma.
Plasma.
It's not what it's not.
And in the movie,
Spider-Man, I don't know what's wrong with me. Blah, I look like a bat, but I'm white, and I have the slick back hair, and I'm from Kazakhstan or something. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Morbius. Die. Just die.
He was like in a relationship with Black Cat. Such a weird show.
Yeah, that shit's
like,
awesome, dude.
But he
I like his little
fucking-
buttholes he has on his hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plasma, Peter.
Use my butthole hands to suck your plasma.
But here's the thing. Do you think that Jared Leto had to sit through the Morbius arc of Spider-Man the Animated Series while studying for this character?
He probably
He's
did.
a method actor.
Probably did.
He has to absorb, and there's not much Morbius content really. Like there's
No.
not really like
No, that's all I
can
remember,
think
really.
of, like
He has
I
comics.
genuinely think there's more media about Shocker than there is about Morbius. Like
Yeah, he's-
sincerely,
he's
I would
Electric Pineapple, man. It's pretty
I would
dope.
disagree, but not by.
Shocker's in every video
I would
game.
disagree, but not by a lot. Like I think Shocker is beat. Shocker is beat by Morbius, but only slightly. Only like slightly because Morbius is a Midnight Sun, and he had his. I don't think Shocker had his own comic book run ever. I don't think he ever did. But at least Morbius.
No,
is,
what, I'm not talking about comic books so much. I'm talking about like extraneous media.
Well-
like Shocker has been in more extraneous media than Morbius.
Yeah, but I would say all the comics are a part of all of the media because like that's the main point people probably pull from. You know, people aren't gonna probably like someone that's method acting Morbius is not
They're
going
not
to
going to play
just
Spider-Man 3 for the PS2.
is not just gonna watch that 4-episode mini area of Spider-Man animated series where Morbius is trying to cure himself. And is be like, whoa, I understand Morbius entirely now. Give me the script.
Do you think like since Morbius flopped, like memers were
It didn't-
No,
higher?
it
Yeah,
actually
it-
did not
well,
flop.
It was very successful.
I didn't know that. I thought
You were so confident. I think he made double.
I thought nobody fucking saw it, dude. But then it was probably so bad that people were like, "You need to see this."
So this so the budget for Morbius apparently was $75 million. Morbius is estimated to have earned $57 million domestic, but a global haul of
$5 billion in China.
But a global haul of 126. So they made a decent amount of money.
Dude, China loved Morbius. They love everything that is fucking dog shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, because
they saw the
China was like,
movies.
"Wow, look, there's no black people in this. This is amazing."
Wait,
not a single black, not one black. Wow.
I don't think there's a single black person in Morbius.
There was one. He's an actor. He's a famous actor.
But he dies immediately, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He was a cop. No, he's the cop. Who was it? He was one of the detectives. He's
a
famous
cop in
actor.
Morbius?
He's a famous actor, and I can't remember his face. That's how little I remember the movie. He's a famous actor. Like oh my god, who was it? It's somebody who
we need to.
normally,
Tyrese Gibson.
Yes, it was Tyrese. That's it. It was. That's why I thought it was in the Fast and Furious universe. I was like, oh shit.
Could you imagine Dominic Toretto fighting Morbius?
Dude, I
whooping his ass.
I would have pulled my dick out and jacked off immediately. I kid you not. I would have been so fucking.
Could you
turned on.
imagine Michael Morbius fighting Dominic Toretto and getting his ass
and
beat,
losing horribly?
Like there's points in the fight where people are doing this.
He's fighting Morbius and that Doctor Who guy at the same time,
and
they both are fucking like crying because it's just too much.
Like there's one moment where there's one moment where Dominic Toretto punches fucking Morbius in the side and he unmorbs. He's just back to normal. He's back to being crippled. And everybody's like, no, please don't.
I'm so
he
convinced.
knocks the morb out of him.
I need this fasted Morbius.
The Fast and Morbius. That's Jurassic. That's like a Jurassic Park Transformers collaboration, bro. That's just crazy.
Oh my god, I think we found the thumbnail.
The Fast and Morbius. And at the end, he joins the crew, and now they just have Morbius a part of that crew.
Oh my god, dude. It's stupid because that's not even like outside of the realm of a possibility in that universe. That's what's so fucking stupid about it.
There's a moment in the last movie where Dominic Toretto catches a car. No, John Cena catches a car. And I'm like, he could probably beat Morbius. I think, I'm being dead serious, I think 2 Dominic Torettos could beat up 1 Spider-Man. I
agree. I think
2 Torettos could beat up video game Spider-Man, which is the most consistent, like, most actual, like, contextually he's been in a while. I think they'd put the beats on him. I think they would kill him.
I can't fucking. This pitch is so fucking disgusting,
dude.
To me.
I immediately. All I want to do is Photoshop immediately. Fucking like.
I want to write this script,
like,
dude. The idea of Morbius coming in and being like, we gotta stop.
We need to put this out into the universe.
Dom's
as
gone
soon
rogue.
As possible.
Dom's gone rogue, and it's like Dom's gone rogue. How you know one guy that could stop him? And then like Morbius comes in, and he's
it'll be a Photoshop of animated series Morbius and Mr. Clean, and it'll say fast and Morbius with like some Hot Wheels in the background.
It should be straight up Dom. I think it should be straight up Dom.
Like from Gears.
No, Dom.
That's a little too deep. Too deep of a cut.
That's too. Yeah, it's too
it should
specific.
be straight up like fucking Vin Diesel and Morbius walking at each other.
All right.
Like Vin Diesel's like looking back.
We're not gonna.
And Morbius is walking towards him from the animated series.
Dude,
look,
it doesn't exist. It doesn't
exist.
I'm just saying, like, there's no. Because I was thinking, some brilliant mind has to have put this together, right? No.
Oh, dude, yeah. I saw. We were coming up with some stuff in the Discord the other day where I think we said like that he we proposed like a movie where Morbius was morbiously obese. And that's I've seen like a million of those. So like
That makes
we're
sense.
not gonna we're not going to top Fast and Morbius.
There's a Breaking
I
Bad
kept
one where
doing-
there's MORBIUS.
We have to tweet out Fast and Morbius. We got to get this shit out rolling as soon as possible because it's not out yet and the world is being deprived from it. Like they need to.
Yeah,
know.
right now, Fast and Morbius.
No. I think it needs to be.
Don't do it.
I think it needs to be introduced with some type of art.
It needs to be the episode.
But
Let's move on. We're super late in this episode and we haven't even gotten to questions yet.
all right.
So
Holy
we'll
shit.
probably have a little bit longer one today.
The Fast
sure.
and Morbius.
But- Oh man,
so
that's
good.
so
That's so
fucking
good.
funny.
That's so good.
That's so. I hate that though.
I love the people that can do Dominic's voice like shitty. Like they can do a good like deep raspy. Like I want to hear the blah and like Dominic. Like I want to hear that exchange of dialogue.
I want to see Dominic become morbed for a period of time. Like it's not a long lasting one, but for a period of time towards the end of the movie, he's like family and Morbius might be the only thing that can stop him. So he takes some of Morbius's blood and he morbs out himself.
Holy shit.
And then there's Morbius, Dominic Toretto, and
family,
he's just
He's literally
powerful.
unstoppable.
He's fucking
family
and
and
Morbius.
Morbius might be the only thing that can stop.
Oh, what would be the great enemy at the end? The enemy at the end would be like, I don't know, it'd be like a little kid on a tricycle with like a fucking shotgun, like something wild, like something. What would be a good enemy at the end? Like the IRS,
Oh, dude.
with all those fucking cars they steal, like some shit. Like,
It's got to be. I don't know. It's got to be something like just fantastic. No, they got to fight Spider-Man. They just have to.
They gotta fight
have to
Spider-Man?
Spider- Or like
no,
okay,
it's Miles Morales, and they beat him to death. And he
No.
dies.
It's
He
a-
dies.
No, it's not even. It's just a really skinny vampire, and his name is Lesbius. And they have to fight him. And they have to.
Furbius.
We gotta move on. We gotta get to questions.
Fucking thin.
Morbius.
He's so thin. He looks like Nosferatu. He's just-
God damn, you're pretty thin. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you anyway. Family.
Doctor,
You're so thin. You clearly don't have family. I don't need family.
Your family would feed you, so you don't have family.
Is your family vampires like me?
I'm a vampire now because I've taken Morbius's blood. Now I'm so much stronger.
He turns
than I
his
was
whole
before.
family. I turned my whole family into vampires so they'll live forever because family is so important.
Entire game was like, God damn, turn me into
family-
a zombie, motherfucker.
Family is that important.
That it needs to be
I
a
never want to
moral
lose my
event.
family, so I turned them into vampires.
What's the questions? Let's go to questions.
And they drive fucking coffin go karts.
Fucking God.
so funny.
Fucking coffin.
Morbius pulls up in a hearse. Pulls up in a hearse. He's like, "Get in," and then
Oh no.
and then that fucking vampire music starts playing.
Furbius is morbing. We can't stop it.
I need this so fucking badly. You don't understand this.
That's crazy.
This is.
And at the end of the day,
I've been preaching the gospel.
the only way they can
I've been
stop
preaching the gospel
Furbius
of-
is if Dominic
What?
Toretto, if Dom from fucking Gears of War squirts on fucking Furbius. That's the only way to
Oh
kill
my
him.
God.
That's the only way to put him down.
And it's holy
He
water.
squirts holy water on him.
We gotta move on. We gotta go to questions.
Do it now. I can't. I'm not turned on. Marcus, kiss me. All right, let's go.
Morbius, kiss
let's
Dom.
Morbius, kiss me. Morbius, kiss me.
Kiss me so I can squirt.
I hate this.
Do it
I
now,
want
Dom.
listen.
Do it now.
All right, we got.
Me so I can squirt Morbius. That's the most insane thing I've ever. That's the most.
This episode is so fucking all over the place. It's
It has
insane.
the biggest contrast we've ever had.
It's like the most serious we've been, and this is easily the most off the rails things I've gotten. I don't know how we went from gun control to squirting Morbius.
I think for this episode, I have to put a cold open just so people like, hey, you may not like that shit, but stick around.
Oh,
stick
yeah,
around
yeah.
for this good shit, dude.
Yeah, for sure. definitely a cold open. All right, let's move on to some questions
shit,
from
I'm
our audience over at patreon.com/thesnark.
Dom, quickly kiss me so I can squirt.
Dude, coffee.
I want to see Chris versus Derek in the ring, and the loser gets fucked with no lube. Wrote in. That's his name.
God damn.
Does it scare y'all that one day your kids will be able to go back and see all the fucked shit you have said because internet? I'm
excited about that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's gonna be the first time in history where that's really been possible for like the overwhelming majority of people. You know, like we didn't have access to our great grandfather's Facebook feeds. You know, I couldn't look at my grandma's Twitter account like when she was like a teenager or like a 20. I think that's just interesting.
Right.
You know, I still look back at like some videos I made in 2009 and I'm like, wow, this is cringe, but I'm glad I kept this. You know, like I'm glad I can still like access it if I want because it's just interesting to see shit change. And I think it'd be awesome. Also, low key, it's probably a good thing because my memory is terrible. So it's just good to have like a proper record of things that have happened and thoughts that I've had.
I don't give a fuck. My kids are gonna see the shit I did, and I'm like, "Yep, I did it. So what?" That's it.
It's not like we did anything.
Fight me on it?
We didn't do anything detestable. Like it's just stupid humor. It's just immature. Like
yeah.
And I wouldn't mind if my kid had the same sense of humor as me. That would be great, actually. We can bond better.
Yeah, that would be pretty ideal.
Yeah, if they're like into like that dry British shit and they're like all serious, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, what do we do here?
If my kid isn't funny, I won't love them as much, but I'll still love them. But like, if they're like, because I don't know, like having a non-funny kid, it sounds like the worst thing ever.
You just keep having kids until they're funny.
Throw the other ones away, man. You know, because you know what we want. We want what is it? Post-birth abortions or whatever. We want, you know what the liberals want.
You know what we want.
Yeah.
You know what we want.
You want to shotgun blast the kid as soon as it's delivered. You're like, nope, not that one.
And I think you have until 17 to abort. I think.
You pick it up and you pop it like a fucking monster. You just.
It doesn't even pop. It's like those stress balls where like it just like kind of like it just pours through your fingers in between your fingers.
That's so much worse.
You know those jelly things like it's got all the juice in it, like it's shaped like a fucking like a strawberry or like a peach or something like that. People like on YouTube they bite them and they eat them. You do that to your kid.
Like Kronos?
Oh my god!
They throw it away.
Oh my god!
This is that Kronos. This is that Kronos painting.
You just fucking pop your kid's head, drink what's inside, and toss it.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ! Wasn't there a South Park episode where that was like the whole
Christopher Reeve? Yeah, Christopher Reeve. He fucking.
Oh yeah, Christopher Reeve was eating stem cells out of. He was like cracking babies open like fucking Pez dispensers and sucking the stem cells out,
and then
so he could walk again.
The baby, like he wouldn't even. It was the best part was tossing it after he was done.
that show used to be fucking outlandish.
See, that's what I'm talking about. People talk about like politics, this and that. Okay, sure. Tim Sells was a part of an argument, but like doing shit like that was what I loved. Just outrageous bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Sweeney's E621 account has over 70 pages worth of art. I'm sure that's a joke, but I don't know what E621 is.
Nah, I don't either.
Yeah, damn. You might be more permanently online than we are, man.
This is our job.
But
this is our job, literally.
Yeah, but they wrote in. I keep saying he wrote in, which is probably like not fair to assume, but at the same time, I will assume it. I want to ask: has a fandom ever ruined something for you so bad that all you see is red? I ask this because Souls fanboys have made it so that every time I hear about FromSoft, I hope to God they do some Activision Blizzard shit or go the Rockstar route and milk the fuck out of Elden Ring's online mode. Jesus Christ. You gotta calm down. That's a lot of hostility.
Firm Software I don't know how you could think that about Firm. Like, they're not, like, they might not be the healthiest, but, like, they're not even slightly close to, like, Blizzard.
No, that's not what he's misunderstanding.
I know, but, like, I don't know how he got to that point. That's what I'm wondering.
Well, no, he hates the fan. He's so mad about the fan base that he hopes to spite them that they fucking do the antithesis of what From Software is doing.
My idea is, like, how could he have gotten so scorned? Like, that's such a...
Well, no, I look at... there's a part of me that agrees with this guy, where I'm not a hipster. However, I can't fucking... I hate gatekeeping. I really do. I hate it in comedy, like in stand-up. I hate it. I hate when people are like this, because there's the argument for get good. I totally get it. Yeah, you do want to get better at anything that you fucking do. But the people that are like, oh man, it would be nicer if they just had this extra, and they're just immediately fucking swarm you. Like, how dare you even suggest that they would even do any? This is a perfect thing, and fucking From Software is an entity. How dare it is perfect in every way? You know, like there's people that are like that, and I'm like, hey, it's a video game, guy. Calm down,
guys.
Kingston, why are you smiling like a fucking
guys?
What did you see?
I tweeted Dom. Morbius, quickly kiss me so I can squirt, and I was like, Morbius, I can't. I'm morbing. And someone put in the comments, the fast and the Morbius.
Are you fucking... Dude, why would you fucking do that?
That's not... Those things don't... That wouldn't create the fast and the Morbius. That's the gears of Morbius. That's the gears of Morbius.
Most people don't know you're talking about fucking Dom from Gears of War. The more famous Dom is Dominic Toretto from fucking Fast and Furious.
That's the fast and the Morbius. That's the Gears of Morbius, the Fast and the Morbius. I messed up. I did.
I let it out. That's your fault, man.
I messed up, but I didn't think they'd figure it out so quick.
How would they not? Like, you planted the seed.
Because our joke is Dom, I'm squirting. Dom, I'm squirting.
Look, if we worked up to it, why wouldn't they work up to it?
Because
that's the whole fucking point.
The joke for our podcast has been for over a year. Dom, I'm squirting. Dom, I'm about to squirt. They might
not listen to the podcast. People who follow you on who follow you on Twitter might not be listening to the show.
Dom, a Morbius movie. Dom, oh my God, Fast and the Morbius. Morbius sounds like Furious. That's why I fucking said it. Because Morbius reminded me of Furious.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
You should delete that fucking tweet, homie.
Guys,
you should delete that fucking.
You're so good at this thing specifically.
I'll get rid of it. I'm sorry. I just.
So awesome.
All right,
let's move on.
I can't believe they figured it out that fast.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it wasn't.
It's not that hard. It's not that difficult
for us to get there. It wasn't that hard.
I gotta delete
literally,
this.
I just started talking about.
I gotta delete this. This can't be on the internet anymore.
No, yeah. We have to, and watch this guy. Remember that guy's username, because he's probably gonna come and be like, "Oh, that was my idea."
Yeah, I found it.
Remember that dude's username. That'd be awesome if he does that.
It quick. They were like, "Oh."
Anyway,
yeah. Oh yeah. An actual. Do you have an actual answer to his question?
Oh, for me,
I don't think so. Their
question.
Anime
in general.
People made Attack on Titan gay for me. That's for sure.
Attack on Titan was always kind of a little fruity though. But yeah, I agree.
Maybe.
I would probably agree where like anime has kind of like I used to think it was cool.
Oh man, Smash as well. Oh god, I hate Smash Bros now.
Why?
Oh, because they all smell.
Well, they all smell, and also the fact is that like Sakurai spends like I don't know 6 months straight without seeing his family working on these characters. People are like, I didn't want that. I wanted Master Chief. It's like, bro. Every single Smash character that's added to the... Dude, Kazuya in Smash Bros. Plays like Kazuya from Tekken 7. That is remarkable design. Well, and people... Oh, God, here we go.
I don't play... I don't play Smash, so I don't really have a leg to stand on. If I were going to pick a character from Tekken, the last thing I would have thought of was Kazuya.
How is that the last person you thought? That's so stupid. Never mind. What's your point? Continue.
No, it's not so stupid.
Continue.
When has Kazuya been the fan fucking favorite?
Kazuya,
in any iteration of Tekken, there's 7 of them.
Kazuya is literally the face of Tekken, Derek. It's Kazuya and Heihachi.
He's not.
It's literally those two.
How many? It's Heihachi
and Kazuya. Literally,
Jin, his son.
I'm
Jin and Devil Jin.
Okay. Derek,
who's on the cover of Tekken 3, bitch?
3 is when Jin comes he becomes the main character in 3. That is 3. Yes.
But ever since 3,
no, he has not. No.
Kazuya has taken a back step.
No, he has not.
Majorly.
4, it was Kazuya beating up Jin because Jin beat up Kazuya. Then 5, it was Jin again because Jin became leader of the army. Then 6, it was Kazuya. No, it was Kazuya and Lars because you find out they're brothers. Then 7, it's Kazuya.
What I'm saying is there's Heihachi, which makes sense. Heihachi makes sense. I've always, and I'm just saying, he's so.
You may not like Kazuya, and I don't like Kazuya. I like Jin more. I like Jin more as well.
I just feel like there's people like, oh man, how much more would you have gotten out of it if it was like? I just feel like he's such a not vibrant character.
Kazuya is the main.
That's how I feel.
Kazuya is literally the main character.
But
like, don't get me wrong.
That doesn't mean that he's good. That doesn't mean that he's a good character. That's what I feel like.
You're right.
That's what I feel like.
I would have rather, instead of them putting like Ryu inside of Smash, I would have rathered Armika. Because Armika is way more vibrant and dynamic, or even Chun-Li or something like that.
Dude, okay, Chun-Li that's a go-to. That I can 100% agree. Obviously, biasly, I agree with Armika. But I feel like the fan base would have rejoiced by having this big-titted, big-assed fucking female thick wrestler in Smash.
Yes.
No one would disagree with that.
I agree. It's just like they put Terry Bogard in from Fight of Fury. I would have rather Kunoichi, the girl with the big titties with the fan and her titties are jiggling all over the place.
Oh, that's May.
That's May.
I don't
May.
Yeah, May. However you pronounce it. I think it would be Mai, wouldn't it? The M-A-I.
But
it doesn't matter. Sorry, so I'm getting weebed out. Let's fucking move on. That grossed me out. I hate when people be like, see, motherfuckers. People will say manga, and they're like, oh, excuse me, it's manga. And then I want to kick them in the fucking face.
There's no hard A.
I want to kick them in the. I want to kick them. There's no hard A.
No hard A.
It's hard R.
It's actually called Manger.
Manger.
Excuse me.
Manga that includes a black MC is called Manger. Could you imagine that? If MC's a black person, it's Manger.
Manger? Oh my god, dude!
And they don't get it.
Invented a slur by accident.
Japanese don't get it.
Manga.
Like, I'm sad that they picked Kazuya and not fucking King, my boy King.
King would have been cooler.
King would have been
He's
so
King would have been cooler.
He's such a
there's so
weird
many
character.
Dude, Kuma would have been cool. Heihachi would have been cool.
Everyone would have loved
Jin would have
Kuma.
been cool. Fucking
dude. What about Mokujin, that fucking wooden guy?
Mokujin, dude. There's so Lars. I fucking love Lars.
Dude, literally Yoshimitsu. Like, come on.
No,
dude.
He's another sword character. People would have bitched about that. But
okay, fair enough. Whatever.
You're probably right, but Yoshimitsu is also like not exclusively Tekken. Yoshimitsu's weird.
Fighting in
He's just
Namco.
Namco
character.
Does anybody know who is Yoshimitsu? Like, where is he from?
Yoshimitsu. I know the lore of Yoshimitsu. I don't know what game they're from exactly.
His lore is
I
bullshit.
first saw him in Tekken 2. That was when I first saw him.
Yoshimitsu is pretty much he's like a hero. Who it's a title given to various people to become the Yoshimitsu. And it's been passed down from time to time. But has it been passed down through realities? Is that what happened?
It makes no sense. And why do they all look like aliens? Like, what is this technology? Like,
no, some of them look like skeletons, and then some look like aliens.
But it's
so he is in Tekken and Soul Calibur.
Yeah, he's in Soul Edge, and he's in the Soul Calibur universe and Tekken, which would technically lend it saying that okay, this is in the same universe, just Soul Calibur is just a long time ago, I guess.
So I refuse. Derek, I'm sorry. Your statement is based.
I'm trying to make sense of it.
Based on what we see, your statement has validity. But I will never accept the fact that people like those motherfuckers in Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is insane. Like. There's a pirate ghost motherfucker. That's a freaking that's Ivy's dad.
Cervantes.
That's not like Tekken is insane. Don't get me wrong. There's people that have devil genes that can fly around and shoot laser beams out their head. But Soul Calibur is way more insane than Tekken.
I guess. I mean, dude, there's Roger, the foxing kangaroo. Dude, there's a scientist in Tekken 3. The scientist, I forgot his name. I remember the scientist. He farts. And if he farts on you, it's like an insta kill.
No, Dr. Boskonovich, right?
That sounds.
I don't remember exactly what it is.
In Tekken 3?
Yeah, it sounds right, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't trust you. Sometimes you're like, you pulling my leg.
I don't trust
but like it's
you
because he's like a secret character, and like he has a farting move that if it touches you, it's like it does like 500% damage or something. His name's so
Dr.
fucking
B.
absurd. Yeah,
his name's Dr. B. Tekken 3.
Boskonovich or something. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I looked it up. Tekken 3 fart.
Look, all I'm
Yeah, he
all
does
I'm-
this, like,
all
farting
I'm
move?
saying is that there's a ton of characters. There was a ton of potential with the characters they added. They added Pokemon. There's
Wait, he's an alcoholic?
maybe.
Oh, I mean, he has like a drunken style, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
He's holding a bottle in Tekken 3.
It's been so long since I played Tekken 3. Oh, I forgot. I have a fight. If you guys people are listening, there's a Fightcade 2. It's a great fucking launch platform that has 8,000 fighting games on it. So it's an emulator.
That's pretty cool.
And so
That's insane.
it's pretty cool. So I was playing a little bit of Marvel's Capcom. I was playing a little bit of Rival Schools from Dreamcast. I was playing Capcom vs. SNK 2. I was playing Zero Team, which is a beat 'em up that has a fucking this chick with a pink thong, and I think they put half of their budget into her ass because like it looks too good and everything else around it looks like shit. It's fucking awesome.
It looks too.
It's,
good. It looks like shit. That's so.
But it's
fucking
pretty
sad.
crazy. Fightcade 2 is the shit, and it's free. You can sign up for free, and this is not. I'm not getting paid to say this, even though that'd be awesome if they did. I'd love to be sponsored by these motherfuckers. But yeah, it's fucking amazing, and it's pretty
Until
easy.
then,
Yeah.
until they sponsor us, they suck.
Fucking
Yeah.
sponsor me
Fuck
right now, or else I'll
nigga.
come and I'll come.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nicolas Cage, greetings to the podcast, who between three people makes up one Dennis Reynolds. Is that a positive thing?
Well, yeah, because then it was insane.
Because Dennis is insane, but I guess that means like we're not on our own
quite insane.
that monstrous. I'll take it a complimentary. He says say you're running to be president. What would your campaign song be and why? You don't have to ask the artist for permission. Not that that's stopped politicians in the past. That is true. Mine would be penis music for sure.
Damn it!
It would without a doubt be penis music, or just like the Ape Escape soundtrack, because it's basically the same thing. It's just this cacophonous fucking beat that sounds like vaguely techno, but also like anxiety inducing. It sounds like a panic attack is about to happen, and I want that feeling to follow me every time I step on stage. And I don't want it to stop when I start my speech. By the way, I want it to continue to persist underneath.
Get
it.
louder, in fact.
Yeah, I want to get louder until like you can't until everybody's speakers are just bass boosted to shit. You can't hear a word I'm saying.
What would mine be? Mine be
I'll tell you mine. It'll be I Want to Fuck You in the Ass by the Out There Boys.
Is that a real song?
It's a classic. Yeah.
Out There Boys?
Yeah. So I found this. It's just Out There Boys. There's no the. But I found this song because there's a commercial. Apparently, this is like a commercial that's real, where a family's like, "Oh, learn how to speak English" type of commercial, and it's showing like a foreign family driving, listening to that song. But they, it just sounds good, but they don't know what it's saying, and it's like, "I wanna fuck you in the ass," ba bam 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 ba bam bam bam, and it's just like it's like a stereotypical '90s. You remember the '90s house music?
Yeah.
And then everybody
Yeah.
was like. It's like a Night at the Roxbury type of track, except for they couldn't play that. Except for they couldn't play that track.
Mine would be like interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater, and that's just playing like as I walk out, boom, boom, and I'd walk out to the beat of it.
Oh my god!
I think that'd be
What
very
about
funny.
I would want to order this like the gangster rap nigga song. That one's pretty good. That's pretty classic.
No, it'd be the Sonic theme song. I don't know. What you call it? Just spending most of my Gangsta's Paradise.
It'd be Gangster's Paradise. That'd be sick.
The Sonic theme song, Gangster's Paradise?
If I wanted something to be real, like if I had like a real song, there's a song called Rise Rise by Rammstein, and the intro to that song, it sounds so fucking epic. It's always like, I always thought of myself, if I was a wrestler or something, I would come out to that shit because it just sounds like the most epic thing ever. So as a politician, I would be really gaudy, all these fucking choir fucking keys and stuff, and like I'd just be like raising, like, I would just be being completely gaudy and just making everybody believe that I'm the second coming of Christ or whatever.
Rammstein makes really good music to walk out to, generally speaking. I've never really sat down and like been like, yeah, I feel like listening to it as like recreationally, but like when I hear it, it does feel cool. Like I remember when I saw the Destroy All Humans trailer.
Yeah.
And like that came out, and I was like, okay, oh wow, weird. They're doing Destroy All Humans, and they used fucking Ickville. And I remember being like, this is fucking really awesome, and it works super well for this fucking game too, because it has that like that what is it, that alien sounding kind of like beep boop 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 beep.
Okay.
Like it's just so fucking good. But I don't know, man. Like a real one.
A real song?
Like a real one, like a genuine answer would probably be some Spanish shit. Because like I feel like that would be like really off-putting to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd pick.
Like somewhat like Norteño shit where they're like accordions going all crazy and shit.
Oh my god, ew.
No.
That's more Mexican music.
Yeah, more like
oh, you mean like Spanish? Sorry.
More like Caribbean,
Spanish?
Well, like actual Spain Spanish.
Well,
yeah,
no,
like
they're not us. They're different.
I would say like Cuban style, like not like I see what Gloria,
you're saying.
Like Gloria Estefan or
Caribbean.
like Elvis Crespo or like or the Gypsy Kings or something like
I don't know
that.
who I'd put for myself.
Brujeria or something. That song, dude. That song is fucking exploding on TikTok right now because there's like a whole meme based around it. And I'm like, oh, this feels weird because this is just music I listen to.
Which song?
And like, it's. I don't remember the Spanish words exactly, but it's called Brujeria. BRU.
The song's called Brujeria, or
yeah.
It's Little Witch. Is that the name of the song?
No.
That's what Bruja means.
I can't remember.
Witch, right?
If you look up the TikToks,
no, I thought
you'll find
Brujeria was well, I think it is witchcraft. I don't think it's actually a witch.
Well, Bruja is a witch.
It's just a song called.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely like something like that.
So
but it's by a band called El Gran Campo de Puerto Rico. So I have a feeling it just may be.
No, it means witchcraft. You're right, Derek.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm surprised you knew that because I didn't even know that.
I knew it because
I know Bruja means witch.
I grew up in La Habra. With a lot of people from Obregón, Sonora.
Yeah.
So
it's
and there's a metal band called Brujeria actually as well. So Brujeria.
I don't know. What would I pick? Like if I picked a real song,
I mean, think of a song. Is there a song that you can think of that gives you the fucking chills? Like I would pick a song like that. Like when you hear it. Or I'd go in the complete opposite direction and pick
but like every song that gives me the chills, you can't play that. Like I wouldn't be able to play that.
You couldn't even like.
What am I saying?
Oh, no, I know
what am I saying?
What am
I saying? It would be something from the Halo soundtrack. One of them.
Oh,
like I'm.
Why wouldn't it be the main theme? Why wouldn't it be that like that shit, dude? Imagine how people would perceive you if you walked out to that. Like you're literally a god.
Here's the thing. It's like the main theme is very overplayed. Everybody knows it, but it's not the main theme is not even close to the best song on the Halo soundtrack. It's just not.
I understand what you're saying, but that's not what the people demand. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
They want. If you came out to those motherfuckers singing that shit, their dicks are hard and they're gonna be willing to believe whatever you say.
He's right.
No, I would come out to like in Amberclad or something, and people would hear it, and it's like, this sounds vaguely familiar, and then the beat would come in, and then the guitar would come in, and they'd be like, what the fuck is this? This is religious. And then they'd be like, oh, this is Halo. What the fuck is this? This is religious. Like it's intrinsic. Like that, especially too, that soundtrack is fucking stupidly iconic. Like everyone, if you play through that game a lot, if you hear that shit again, it'll come back to you because it's just so fucking good.
I know what's on that pick.
There's so many, man. There's two tracks that now that I'm thinking about it, there's one track and they're both from sequels, which is funny. God of War 2, which is like anyone that played the franchise, it's the best one in the series. The soundtrack's nuts. You fight Perseus. The fight is so fucking underwhelming, but the music is too good for that bullshit fight. Because this bitch is just fucking invisible, and then you just need to like track his footsteps and then whoop his ass. It's so boring. But the fucking soundtrack on it is the most intense music ever. It starts off very like almost sounds like Jaws, like da 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 da, and then it just fucking goes crazy. Like motherfuckers are in the background, like just playing and sweating and shit. How intense it gets. and I'm like, this should have been reserved for any other fight. But anyway, that would be fucking awesome because I like shit that just like it gets you hyped and it has like an inspiring feeling to it.
There's a song called "Crust" by Flying Lotus, and it's the most like mellow, just like violin, like Afro themed, like Japanese punk music. And I feel like that's a good song to play. Like I'd come out, there's no words, it's beat. I'd come out, that'd be playing. I'd look around, I'd be like, all right, it's time to change the world.
I can think of like now that I'm thinking about it and all this music is flooding into my head, I have like a million answers. Because like now I'm thinking of like there's this song from Gears of War 2 soundtrack called Armored Prayer that plays. It's like the Horde music that like kind of begins to play every time a round ends. But like the full track, it sounds villainous, so I probably wouldn't play it. But it probably wouldn't be a great image for me. But it's damn fucking good. Like Armored Prayer from Gears of War 2 is like one of the just coolest fucking soundtrack tracks that I think I've ever heard. It's like up there with like pretty much everything from other video game soundtracks. It's fucking dope. It gets you pumped because it's got this like this back and forth kind of like these strings that kind of like they almost ping pong back and forth and like rise.
What is it called again? Because I can't picture it.
I don't remember.
It's called Armored Prayer.
The fuck out of Gears. I don't remember that song exactly.
Gears of War 2 Armored Prayer. If you go to like maybe like a minute 30 in, you'll recognize it. It starts off a little bit slow, but it like.
I should know this. Gears of 2 was my like life.
But it's just fucking dope.
It sounds pretty good. It sounds good.
Yeah, it's just fucking. Gears of War 2 soundtrack's so good, actually. Now that I think about it, I want to play through it again.
Right. I was just thinking of that where I'm like, God, why? Like,
oh my God, it is. They play the middle part as soon as you end when they're doing like dong 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 dong, like they're giving you like all the people you killed and all the shit you achieved. I remember. Yeah,
when they play it like when the scoreboard, but like the whole track is amazing, and there's rumors actually that they're going to do a Gears. Like a Marcus Phoenix collection type Gears thing,
Phoenix.
Or like a Gears collection remaster thing. If that happens, I'm stoked as hell because it's definitely going to come to PC. Because
100%, and it's like let's go finally.
Gears 2 in such a long time, it's crazy.
Gears 2 is damn good. Actually, all the original Gears games are good. The first one's aged the worst, I guess.
Three
is great. But the story is not as good as 2.
Even Horde mode is not that good in Gears 3.
Horde is not as good either.
But Beast is fun. Horde is not that good. Beast is awesome.
Beast is cool, and then the multiplayer is genuinely fun.
I liked them because I played the multiplayer a lot when it first came out, and I enjoyed it. But I remember being like, I just don't like this very much. But I loved playing Beast. I love just becoming a fucking berserker and just ruining the game for everybody because they put a berserk. What were they called? Were they called berserkers? Actually,
the blind ones are berserkers.
Yeah, you just run around and just run through people, and it was amazing.
I love when you would explode by just it touching you.
I love how they would throw tantrums too. They would hear something and be like, "God damn it!" and they would just run at you.
Dude, that moment in Gears of War 1 is like some of the that's some of the scariest shit that I like. They did such a good job with that shit.
Yeah, anyway. Even like the final boss, it was kind of like the train scene and shit. Like when he's coming and he's like, it's very imposing. Like it's
dude.
It's
very. I remember when they showed him when you're walking out of the church and then the berserker shows up and you're like, what the fuck? And you're shooting at it and it's just not getting hurt and it runs into you and you turn into pieces of yourself. And I was just like, excuse me, what?
The more I think about it, the more I kind of realize that like I actually am like a huge fan of Gears of War. Like I never felt that way before until I started actually like I never feel like a fan of Gears of War when I'm playing them. Like I'm playing through them and I'm like, oh, that's a nice game. What a fun game. And then I think back to how good they are generally, and I'm like, oh, I actually like this a lot.
Particularly Gears of War 1 and 2 for me, man. Those games are so. I think Gears of War 1 had like such way better game physics than it had any right to have at that time, and then Gears 2, and Gears 2 had just like the Horde mode was such a people now modern times people would try to sell you Horde mode for like $60. Think of that. Like people would try to sell you Horde mode now for like $60. They'd be like, it's infinite play. Here's $60. Give me that. It's like, it's so good. There's so many guns.
Yeah, there are entire games now that are just basically that.
Right.
And that's
the
it.
fucking explosive bow. How you would wait till someone's running towards somebody else to take cover. You'd hit them in the head with the bow, and then you'd kill 3 people.
Man, dude,
or you'd kick the little explosives into people and they die.
The torque bow is so sick.
That noise when you hit when the torque bow hits, I love that. Ding. Like, and then in just a couple seconds, boom! That is so satisfying.
They were really good with sound design.
And the trash
like
talk?
even the headshots. The headshots in Gears are so satisfying. They're so much louder than everything else. Like it makes no sense that they're that loud.
But
it's
so
like
damn
good.
You can literally fucking snipe someone from like fucking 100 yards away, and then it sounds like they're fucking right in front of you.
The bust, the fact that their head busts. The grenade, the fucking chainsaw, I can't do the stuff. So it's like a treble sound first before it starts up.
Yeah.
And then while you're running through people and like you're both screaming at each other while it's happening. Great. The first 2 games are just such good video games, man. Ugh. Take me back. Boom.
That's my favorite.
Boom. I remember the guy that had the grenade that he was swinging. Me and my friends called him Battle. I don't know why we called him Battle. He had like the shield, and then he had the fucking like the grenade that he'd slam on the floor.
You gotta shoot his dick.
Yeah, I would call.
He was that was the Mauler, I think.
Boom. We would call him a Battle because for some reason we'd call him that, and he'd be like, "Oh no, Battle's on you!" And he'd come, he'd slam his explosive down and kill you, and then you could be able to take his thing. Then like on Gears of War 2, there was a day 1 map where like you could hide over on a ledge and be able to like shoot people, and there'd be like cars on the side right here, and then you'd go and you get the Magnum. If you get the Magnum and his shield, you could run around fucking people up. And I remember loving it so much. Dude.
Well, there was also that strategy on River, which was like my favorite one. Which was like it was like this symmetrical map where it was like a bridge in the middle, and there was like a river in the middle, and then there were like these 2 kind of towers. And if you got those Mauler shields, you could like the strategy would always be to take 2 of them down, take their shields, and blockade the door so that no one could get into the tower. And it was like this whole defense thing, dude.
Hell yeah,
goated video games.
Revive me.
Revive me. Fucking Carmine, the Carmine family dying in that series.
Revive me. Oh, not you, Carmine. You're gonna fucking die too.
Carmine, don't go out and cover. If you go out and cover, you're gonna boom. Dude, every game one of them died, bro.
That's awesome.
That was crazy.
I think in 3 one of them didn't die. I think 3 he survived. But every other Carmine, it was like A, B, C, D, E, F Carmines.
That's when they were trying to say, "Oh, it's over. It's over. The franchise is over." And then all of a sudden, they popped out fucking 4 more. They popped out.
Yeah,
I never played 4. I played 5. I never played 4, and I was like, I heard 4 was the one that you could skip. Like that was one you could definitely skip 4. That was not the one that everybody really liked the most. But like, I just remember loving that series so much in the first 2.
4 is fine. The problem 4 is it's got a lot of good story moments, but like 4 is a lot more boring than the other. Just because like 4 is mostly robots, so you don't get like. Gears of War is about like cutting through meat and shit, like shooting and there's gore and blood and shit.
Fucking
like Hidden Robots
shields.
just doesn't feel the same.
It feels awful. The sound and everything. I was like, oh god.
They can't. They can't say help. They can't say please don't kill me and mean it. They can't put their hand and be like, don't kill me because I was killing a robot.
I like 5 a lot though. There's a DLC for 5 that's actually wonderful.
But, I never played it. I should do that.
Yeah, I think it's free. I'm not super sure how it works, but anyway, Cup-O-Matic wrote in. He says, "Hey, Snark Tank Gang, I have thought when it comes to playing old games that you've never experienced before or want to revisit. Oh, I have a thought when it comes to playing old games that you've never experienced before or want to revisit. Which type of gaming experience is better? Emulating old games versus buying and re-released old games?" This is written a little bit confusingly, but I think what he's saying is it better to emulate or to play on the original hardware, I think is what you're saying?
No, it's either the idea of emulating versus buying re-released old games and games compilations like the new Capcom Fighting Collection coming late June. So I personally, I don't emulate. this is something I got made fun of. I was getting flamed about it before. I think last stream, everybody was making fun of me because I don't emulate. I just don't emulate. That's me personally. I'd rather buy the game again. That's just my personal thing. I'm not against anyone that does it. I'm never going to insult someone that does it. I just personally don't do it. You know, I'd rather have the game itself. But there are often times where you just can't get the game. You can't find it.
That's the whole point.
You can't find it, you know? That's the point. And it's like, yeah, by all means, get the game if you can. Especially for people like Nintendo that just are withholding so many games for no good fucking reason. You know what? Do your fucking thing, man.
And there's a lot of old games too, like that you just can't buy anymore. And even if you could, the profits wouldn't be going to the people who made it anyway. Like I have Ape Escape for the original PS1. Hooking my PS1 up to my 4K TVs, you know, I could do it, but it would make more sense for me to just emulate it. And I feel better about that because I own Ape Escape and I bought it when it was out, and I feel a little bit more morally okay with it. But generally speaking, I don't know. Like, I prefer to play things on their original hardware if I can, just because, like, that to me is half the experience. Like, something about playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on, like, a fucking mouse and keyboard, like a psycho, or like,
could you imagine?
even just a modern controller feels wrong to me. Like that was Xbox PS2 time. So, like, for me, like, when I play that game, I want to play it on either one of those specific controllers. I'm weird about that. And it's only, like, super specific games that I feel that way. Like, specifically, like, nostalgic games. Like, old shit. When it comes to Halo, it's like, whatever. That's on PC and all sorts of shit. Like, it doesn't really make a difference. But emulation is awesome. It's cool. I like it. I think it helps in the preservation of games because so many studios are really bad at that shit. Dude, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was like Mega Man Battle Network or something. It was like one of the Mega Man games where they just don't have those files anymore. They can't re-release those games.
That's so unfortunate because I love the Battle Network games. I constantly cry about wanting those games back, and I just can't have them. I cry about it.
They couldn't if they wanted to. They couldn't re-release those games if they wanted to. I can't remember if it was Battle Network or if it was like another Mega Man game.
I literally am gonna buy a Wii U so I can just have the Battle Network games again. I'm going to purchase that for that. That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
But that's why I like that's why I like emulators. That's why I was plugging Fightcade for that specific reason. Because IP like Marvel's Capcom 2 is not in stores. You gotta play, and I'm like I don't my Dreamcast isn't even in the same fucking state as me right now. So like I still have my shit in storage, and so it's like all right, I will just play it. I'll emulate it, and same with other Dreamcast games and other games that just companies just won't fucking put it in Steam or whatever. Because I would fucking buy it. That's the thing. Like I would buy it. If it was there, if it was available, it would be easier. It would be more convenient for me.
You know how badly I want to get Pokemon Heart Gold? I want that game so bad, and it should just be on the Switch. There's no reason why that couldn't. There's no reason for Nintendo. This is what makes it worse for Nintendo, particularly. Nintendo was so previously and on along with it being a home console, it was a portable console. So it should just be available. They should have those games be like, all right, we're bringing them all back. Here you go.
Yeah.
Give me the availability to get them, you know? I think eventually they're going to do a Game Boy Advance / Game Boy, like, online thing they're doing, like, hey, you pay this amount of money and you get to play these games. But I don't want that. Just let me buy the game so I can have that whenever I want to play it. That's all I want.
Hopefully, I mean, just as things move forward in the future, because one thing, I mean, who would have thought God of War 2018 would be on fucking a PC? So it's one of those things where it's like at a certain point, maybe.
I think just Colin.
Maybe when
Colin was the only person that probably thought that was going to happen.
Probably. Because, no one was even asking for it because they didn't think that was ever a thing. It was like, why would I even ask for that when that's their main bread and butter? Why would they put it on anything else? So I didn't even think of like, oh, I wish this was on PC. I never thought.
True.
Now everyone's like, fucking Bloodborne. Like, what the fuck, man? This game's like 7 years old. Let's go. Let's fucking go and put it on. Like, it's these reasons why people would like to emulate Bloodborne if it's not that simple, since it's a little bit more powered than like emulating a PS3 game or something. But like,
oh yeah, dude, the PS3 is a fucking disaster. that those games are still only available on modern PlayStation hardware through streaming. You can only stream those games.
Right. Which is stupid
because the
as
cell
fuck.
architecture isn't. Well, it's because the cell architecture on PlayStation was so stupid on PlayStation 3. They like every individual company manipulated the cells in different ways. So there can't be like a just one size fits all emulation approach to like there has to be like for PlayStation there has to be like okay, Naughty Dog emulator, Sucker Punch emulator, like emulators per studio in order for it to work because each of those studios fucked with the cells so much.
That's hilarious.
But
yeah, it wasn't to keep up with I had this one emulator. I specifically, I just really wanted to play Dante's Inferno, so I downloaded just for that, which was a fucking hassle to get all set up. And then I started playing God of War, and I'm like, this shit isn't worth it. It's not worth like,
Isn't there a 360 emulator that's probably better?
They're probably the one that I was playing, it was better for manipulating like basically just. Oh, let me 4K this shit. Let me just.
Oh, right.
Like,
right.
It was really, it really maximized. It was good for if you wanted to stream because it made the games look fucking gorgeous. But other than that,
I remember Dante's Inferno being pretty good. Like I remember liking
super
it.
fun.
I
mean,
I liked it. I liked the beginning because the very beginning you kill death. I thought that was pretty hype.
Yeah, and there's tits in it.
Oh
in
yeah,
the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's tits. Fucking yeah, Beatrice's tits are actually throughout the game. It's pretty great. You keep flashing back and there's just tits always. For whatever reason, I'm like, well, no, it kept me in. I was like, this game's awesome. Fucking Mark Hamill's his dad. It was cool. You fight Dante's dad, which is voiced by Mark Hamill, which is pretty cool.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
The guy Dante is voiced by I forgot his name. Sorry, dude, but he voices Dracula and the Netflix Castlevania.
Castlevania?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dante's Inferno game voice actors.
Yeah, I can't remember
That's
that fucking
crazy.
guy's name. Yeah, dude, it's fucking. I really like that game. It's
Graham
a lot of fun.
McTavish.
That's it.
That's nuts.
Oh,
that's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, and Graham's in a lot of shit, man.
All right, got anything else? Got anything else? We're gonna wrap it up now, guys.
Yeah,
Let's do one more.
Yeah,
one final
Gotcha.
question. And so Papa Jesus wrote in, and he says something that I can't read because I didn't learn that language. And then he says parentheses, that's French for "Hey, what's up, my boys?" I have a bit of a confession that I hope I don't get crucified for. You don't want to end up like Hank Hill. On 2 separate occasions, I tried to play BioShock all the way through, but couldn't bring myself to finish it.
First one?
I love the art style. Yeah, the first one, I think. I love the art style, theme, and story, but something about the gameplay just doesn't click with me. Has there ever been any media that you really wanted to like, but you just couldn't enjoy? Much love and respect to you as usual, and hopefully you don't attack me for my hot take. I will, but only internally.
Okay.
I mean,
Man, I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's a couple of these.
I mean,
I feel like D&D is the thing for me. I feel like D&D is the thing. Although, granted, I haven't really played it yet, but like, it just feels like one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I could ever really do this.
To me, it's just a
Because
chore.
it
That's
seems-
all.
It's so demanding. It
it's so
requires so much
fun.
coordination.
But it's a chore. That's the coordinate. That's what I'm talking. Yeah, exactly.
The
coordination.
coordination narrative of it is fucking brutal. That is the most brutal part of it. But the thing is that I've never had more fun playing anything other than D&D. Like, as much as I love like video games, but like I've never had more fun than playing D&D. Like, it's always like, whoa, I'm having an unbelievable time. Even when I'm DM, I DM'd for like 15 people where I did a battle royale, and that shit was hectic. That was a nightmare. It was crazy, but I had so much fun playing. We had made a party of it. Everybody came over. We like bought food. We like all had drinks, and it was a great time. But there's just so much shit that goes on.
Right.
So it's like,
So, like it's like every time I played it, I've had a fantastic time. It's just coordinating with the homies, like whatever. So it's not gonna happen. If you can get that club going, you got a time and designate. Like, I know some of my friends that do have that every Thursday.
I have it too. Every Sunday
cool.
I play.
Yeah, so like that works and stuff like that. But I totally get the sentiment because I'm in the same boat with that. I had a hard time with like, I feel like I should like The Witcher way more than I do.
I kind of am with you.
Yeah.
on that one as
The
well.
Witcher
I like
hooked
it a
me-
lot,
hooked me
but
for a
like
period
I
of
still
time.
haven't finished anything. I haven't finished The Witcher 3 at all.
I finally
I haven't
finished
even
it.
come close.
I forced myself because I'm like running out of time. I'm running out of time to have like more time to do anything. My lady's gonna come living with me next week. So like me playing a fucking RPG and shit, like with free, it's basically it's like I'm gonna cut my time even more. So let me try to finish this story. And it was hard. It was hard. Like, I like the characters. I love Geralt. He's such a sarcastic cunt, but like, I love it. And the way that he like approaches shit. I do like the characters. The tits are awesome. And then of course after I beat it, I just real quick dove back into the game and gave Geralt the biggest penis possible that's just erected. So he wears no pants. He has his boots on, but he has no pants on. And then all the women are naked, which is cool. I didn't see a thing to make all the men naked, which I felt was a little sexist, but I was like, whatever. It might be there, but when I was looking at the mods, it wasn't just like readily available just to make everyone naked. And I'm like, that's
Just desecrate this
Just
fucking
tear this game
master
apart,
stroke.
bro.
It's so funny, dude. Like, there's the Horson. What's the guy's name? Horson, whatever. Horson Jr. This Horson Jr.
Horson Wells?
Yeah, Horson Wells.
He's a guy from Skellige,
Horson-
right?
He's the guy that no, I think he's from Novigrad. I don't think he's in Skellige. I think he's he's the guy that he tortures whores, like prostitutes.
Oh yeah, I know. He's in
So
the
like,
main
so you're in a very serious situation. You're beating the fuck out of this guy, and like Geralt's hard dick is just out. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Like, he's beating the fuck out of this guy. This guy's begging to
when
stop.
when you have the like the bare knuckle fights, your shirt is off, you have your gloves on, and your dick is out.
Your dick is
funny.
hard as a rock. It's
That
so
is
funny.
so scary. Can you imagine getting beat up by a guy who is
erect,
hard? Who is a
an
hard-
erect witcher, an erect superhuman. That's like getting beat up by Chief with his hard dick.
That is very intimidating. It's very intimidating.
I don't know.
There's even a normal guy coming at you with a hard dick, like right now. Like, if a guy just busted through your door and his dick is just hard, like, it's fucking intimidating. You're like, oh fuck, like, what the fuck?
I gotta kill this guy. This guy has bad intentions. I gotta hurt him.
This guy's habitually line stepping. And we gotta
For me,
fucking- we gotta
Witcher
put him in his
eventually
place.
it got me so absorbed. I think after the as soon as you leave as soon as you get to Novigrad is the first city, right? As soon as you finish the part with the with that guy, the Red Baron dude, I got like absorbed into it, and I couldn't stop playing it. Like, I
like
couldn't.
that guy. Like, the characters are great, man. It's just there's just a couple of like things here and there about it.
I think there's problems with
whatever.
that game control wise. Like, that game, you can tell it's old.
Oh, definitely.
If that game got like an HD remaster and like they smoothed out a lot of the gameplay stuff, they kind of made the combat a little more flowy. I think that game would be amazing.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is weird because, like, Witcher 3 to me, like, I remember when Witcher 3 came out and everybody was comparing it to Fallout 4 and people were like, wow, Fallout 4 is super fucking dated compared to this. And they weren't wrong, but, like, I feel like when I look at Witcher 3 now, I feel like it's as dated today as Fallout 4 was. Like, not in the visuals, or, like, I think it looks gorgeous still, but, like, definitely in the way that it runs sometimes. Definitely in the way that you move around and the way combat works. It just feels a little bit... feels like a really polished game from the 360, you know what I mean? Where we didn't quite nail it just
game,
yet.
What is that?
I agree with that.
It is good, yeah. No, I like a lot about it, but like for some reason, like I play a lot of it, and then I get to a point where I'm just like, I don't have time, and then I put it down, and then I come back to it, and I'm like, I don't
That's what
remember what the fuck I was
RPGs in
doing.
general though. You don't. You're not. You don't stick around long enough to finish RPGs.
But I feel like
They're just
that one in particular. Even for me, I am an RPG junkie. Like when I can do so many side missions, side quests, whatever, and have a good time. If it's reasonable, like say this shit. Like say for example, the main story is just to find Ciri. That's the main thing. The amount you have to run back and forth everywhere, it's so fucking unfocused. And you can't stay on topic. You have to skip around to other quests to further other ones that are just an eyesore. do this, and I can't. You have to do this to do.
I
and
did
I'm like, dude,
so many
this,
side missions.
fuck
Dude. Like
that
by
shit.
the time I was done,
Fuck that shit.
Like I finished
it's
the
so
game.
unfocused.
I finished Witcher 3 at like level like 79 because of how much side shit I did. Like I was so much stronger than a Wild Hunt. Like when they fought me, they were like, "Yo, what the fuck,
Like, whoa,
dude?
why are we worried about the Wild Hunt at all?
This one Witcher is just sweet." Like they'd summon their little dogs, and I would just light attack, sever them. And I was just cutting people's heads off.
Just finish them off with a critical hit with one fucking light hit.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I know exactly what
like
you're
I was
saying.
like a god. I got like the fucking I got like the fire stream. So I would just fire stream, cook them, and they'd run around and set the rest of the place off. I was so strong by the end of that game. But yeah, it does feel like very fetch questy at moments. Where I got to go over here and talk to this guy about a pan.
It's way too much. It's way like I'm trying to. Essentially, it was like I'm trying to speed run this essentially because I'm just trying to beat it. And when I thought like, oh, the climax is here,
yes,
and then it was not.
That
I
moment,
was like, what the fuck?
The moment where you think the game's over, then there's a whole other 20 more hours of story, and you're like, what?
Dude, I was like, what the?
I love
fuck
that.
Is
I
happening?
love that part. I love that part of the game personally.
Look,
but
if I were fucking 16 years old, I would have loved that so fucking much. I just did not have time. Where I was like, oh, I was talking to JoJo, and I was like, I think I'm gonna beat it today. And I'm like, if I'm not gonna beat it today, I'm just done with the game. Fuck this. And then I wasn't even close, and I was like, but then I had to. I can't not abandon it. So she was just laughing at me that like. I played the game probably 5 days more than I thought I was going to. Because I thought I was so close to the end.
It's crazy how it's
like
because you think it's over. Like there's a part in the game that's Act 3 before you. Okay, I would say it's Act 3 and Act 4 is where it finishes. You think it's done. You think it like you really think it's over. You're like, okay, the game's done now. The climax is happening, and then it's just not done at all. And you're like.
Dude, I had to do more shit after that huge encounter. Dude. And then it's like, hey, come with me to do this. I'm like, no, can we just go kill these fuckers? Can we please go kill
Not
these
yet,
fuckers?
Derek. You don't have enough stuff yet. You're not done.
It's the same thing. It reminds me of like Red Dead Redemption 2 was one of those where it was just like, this is such a fucking big... Like, it is astounding that I managed to finish that game. Because, right. I mean, it's amazing, but... Like, I am so bad at sticking with these things because, like, there's so much else that I have to play for Sacred Symbols. There's so much else that, like, I have to do. Like, I can't just, like, I gotta write shit. I can't just sit here and, like, stream all the time or play, like, video games all the time. And I'm playing different things and I'm, like, absorbing, like, 10 different stories at once sometimes. It gets fucking overwhelming. And then, like, Red Dead Redemption 2 has this moment where you're just approaching the end. And then you go to fucking Cuba. And then you're like, what the fuck? We're in Cuba now?
No. That's not even close. That's for real the middle of the game.
That's just the
middle.
And you think like but you feel like it's approaching the end and it's not. And then you get back from Cuba and then there's still so much left. And then the game ends.
No, not.
And then there's 8 more hours. After the game ends.
The epilogue.
That game is a masterpiece because that is some of the best long form storytelling I've ever seen in my life, other than a book. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
But there's a period of time where there's a period of time where you're in Cuba and you're like, yo, where's Jose? We need him. We're around Spanish people. And then Jose comes out. You're like, Jose, you're the GOAT. You are saving our lives. But why are we in Cuba? I don't know how that happens. It's such an insane part. Like the boat goes down. The boat goes down. Or you jump off the boat and then everyone finds themselves somewhere in Cuba and they're like, hey, what's going on? And thinking of Cuba in the 1800s, I think of as just a jungle. But apparently there's civilization there and there's this war that's going on that you're kind of involved in a little bit. You're trying to help these freedom fighters. And I'm just like...
It felt a little bit like a Matthew Vaughn type of movie, you know?
Yeah, but it's like...
It's this random... you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of in Spider-Man 2, where you're watching Spider-Man 2, and it's like, it's a superhero movie. And then when it ends, it's a superhero movie as well. But then there's that one scene where it's just the Evil Dead. And like it's in the hospital room, and like the tentacles are just like fucking like... And people are screaming. There's like definite death that's happening. And it's shot like a fucking horror movie.
Right.
That's that moment in Red Dead Redemption 2, where like
Right.
the whole
Listen
game is a Western
to
from
me.
beginning to end, but then you're in this weird like adventure movie in the middle of it,
You're in
where
fucking
it's like it becomes
Far Cry
Pirates of the
6
Caribbean
or some shit.
Yeah, it's like Far Cry
It
6 all of
becomes
a sudden. You're
pirates,
like,
and you're
what
like,
the fuck?
what?
And then you go back to a Western, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
And no, what's
whiplash?
funny is that scene after.
expecting J.K. Simmons to throw a chair
And
at
what's
me.
funny is that scene
Serious?
afterwards, it gives you a moment to decompress because you ride your horseback and then D'Angelo plays. And your mind is like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, right.
What?
Yeah.
I was just
Fantastic.
a part of an action movie. Huh?
Is there anything?
For me,
Is there
I
anything,
don't know.
Kingston?
Most things I really try to like, I enjoy. Because I was like that with reading for a long time until I started choosing the stuff I read, and I started liking reading a lot. And then like maybe I don't know, a game that
When's
I just
Halloween?
can't finish. I can't bring myself to finish the game. I don't know. I felt
Well,
like
it's not that you can't bring yourself to finish. It's more like something that you tried to like, or that you know.
because that's happening to me right now with Red Dead and with Last of Us 2. I actually really like that video game. I think that video game has a lot of really, really, really good parts. A lot of like really good storytelling moments. I just think that the way the story is given to you is the problem. Like I think that could have been like the perspective that Colin has of that game, where he thinks like one of the best games ever. I think if you played as Abby first, it would have been that game. Actually, if you went through all of Abby's shit and then you got to the point where you killed Joel, and then you keep going as her, and then eventually you play as Ellie and you see what happened with Ellie at the end. Like Ellie's part is all the end. And you cut down the game by like maybe like a 10. You take 10 hours out of the game and you only play as like Abby first and then Ellie.
It's just really poorly paced.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about it,
decent, It's a decent game.
Because I actually like Abby. I like her relationship with Owen. I like the wolves that you meet in that group. Other than the main boss wolf, that nigga didn't have to exist at all. Like I don't know why he was in the game. Actually, I don't know why he was in the game. He was the most useless character in the game by far. He didn't need to exist. I
don't think I liked a single character in that game.
I liked a lot of them. I like Abby. Because Abby, throughout her journey, I like Shiv. Is that his name? The little person that shaves their head.
I don't know.
I like them. I enjoy. I hate Ellie.
Nothing stuck with me.
Hated Ellie. Like Jesse a lot, actually. Jesse was trying to help. You know, he went and literally found Tommy. Like the whole reason why Abby went on an adventure, he was like, we can find Tommy right now. We don't have to engage people. He's like, I gotta do it. And he's like, all right, you're fucking stupid. He just went and found Tommy.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to.
I like the doggy.
It's hard.
He's so nice.
It's hard for me to like that game because like all of the writing tricks that they use are like incredibly transparent, and it's handled so
I think-
much less professionally or less competently than the original game was. Where like in this game, it feels like they're trying like nothing feels natural.
The thing about Last of Us 2 is I feel like Last of Us 2 was under an extreme microscope because of the time in which it happened and everything that led up to it coming out. It was under like a very focused microscope. Everybody was nitpicking every problem. But as I'm playing it now, way later on, while I'm just enjoying it, I'm just playing a game. You know, I'm not playing it to hate it or like it. I actually enjoy it. I know that the problems are there. It has problems. It's not fucking Divinity Original Sin 2 is a perfect fucking story, you know? Like, or it's not fucking Dragon Age Origins. It's an amazing story. Like, it has its problems, but while I'm playing the game, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying how the new weapons you get. I'm enjoying the way you can like tactically encounter a lot of the fights.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone so much into that shit. I just think I genuinely think
we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah,
again.
it just boils down to simply that, at least in my perspective, why it's so disappointing is that it was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary. Some of the decisions that they've made seem so unnecessary. It seemed like decisions that would satisfy just a handful of people. And when it comes to being an artist and you have consumers, I feel like it's stupid to do that. I understand it's your art. I totally get that. But when people are hiring you, people are employing you, that you're doing something specifically to have a good response and to be profitable, you kind of you shouldn't really do that anymore. If you're releasing something independently, you fucking do whatever you want, because whatever response you get, you'll be happy with. It's your own shit. But when people are like counting on you to release something really enjoyable, and you're just like, let's do this because I want things to be this way. Now, this may be, some people may disagree with me. I think me, if I did not want to do that, say if I was creating music and I don't want to please people, I will be independent and I will release what I want and whatever. If people like it, cool. If they don't, whatever. It's just my art, But if I sign on to a label and they're like, we're counting on you to fucking like release something really inspiring or to really maximize our profits and stuff like that. I mean, all right, cool. I want to put my spin on it, but I also know what my audience wants. So I'm going to give them what they want to. You kind of do half and half, at least in my opinion. That's just kind of like what you do. And people that rail against that, I feel like, well, why are you, what do you do? Why are you actively trying to push back against what people want? There's a storytelling aspect to it. There's a more understandable way to do things. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like if you are partnering with people, they're trusting you to do something. You're making this specifically for fans, not for yourself. So I'm saying,
I think that's
like
that's
it almost be like
that's what that problem comes from. It's like the idea that, at times
it's like Rian Johnson with Star Wars.
At times,
that's what I mean. We've compared that to them already.
Like you gotta find a middle ground where like I enjoy the story I'm creating, but also this is more or less for the people that are gonna absorb it. It's not just for me.
I actually don't mind when like people take risks on that, because I think it's the reason we got something like Death Stranding, which is like a massive risk and massively bizarre and like super experimental.
Well, Death Stranding didn't have an audience or anything to like.
No, but Kojima does. And I'm sure.
And Death Stranding was very divisive.
If a big studio, I'm sure if a big studio was like, "Hey, Kojima, we need you to make something like Metal Gear," I don't know if that would have been as interesting as just letting Kojima just run wild with this. I understand. I get why they wanted to have this big impact with The Last of Us. Like I get why they wanted. We're gonna subvert expectations a bit. I just think they wrote it really transparently, and like because everything feels like Ellie feels unrealistically evil and Abby feels unrealistically like nice. Like
I wouldn't say unrealistically nice. I would say
the game itself has a bias, and that's really annoying.
I agree with that.
When it's like super transparent. It's like everything from like, oh, isn't it coincidental how Abby is stronger? She has the better weapons. All of her interactions with other players or other characters is positive. Oh, when she's her interactions with the dogs are positive. You're petting them and you're playing with them and you're getting to know them. And the only interaction that Ellie has with dogs is she's brutally murdering.
That doesn't seem. I wouldn't say that's exactly transparent. I would say there is a degree of bias there, because Abby's a different character, obviously. And
it's just framed intentionally to make you feel something. And I that's how everything works. That's how stories work. But when I can see the guy behind the curtain, so obviously where he's like, hey, it's me, I'm making you feel this, it just becomes hard to feel anything. And then I went through the whole game just feeling like nothing most of the time.
I like the game because of the fact that it does the idea of people kind of learning to just let go of shit. Because throughout the game, after Abby already did what she did, she was already consumed by rage, she kind of lets go of the hatred, she's like,
well, of course she did, because she got revenge.
Well, the thing is that she kind of realizes the wrong she did, because she comes back.
She doesn't, though.
She literally
did she get revenge, though?
She literally does.
I mean, she kills
Joel in the very beginning, and that's the intro to it, right? So like that very horrible act happens. But then what happened is throughout the game, she realizes what she would have done to save what's his name, Shiv, So it turns into an idea of like her becoming similar to what Joel is. And then her and Abby becoming, and then Ellie becoming just this. But my biggest problem with the game is that Ellie was my favorite character in the first one, and I hate her. I hate her in 2. I can't stand her because she's just
because they wanted you to.
Well, yeah, but obviously they wanted us to. That's a storytelling aspect, I just think that game was just under a huge microscope. I think it was under a huge microscope, and people didn't get a chance.
That doesn't make sense.
That
doesn't make sense.
I think it does. I think it does.
It wasn't under a microscope until there was a little bit of like some shit that was leaked. But they worked on the game the entire time. They had this narrative and storyboard.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but I felt when people looked at it, they were like, "This is stupid because they're doing this and they're doing that." From the very moment that it got leaked, people's perception were off because of the fact they saw Joel died in the beginning, and that was from that moment on. People had a very crass depiction of
so
it.
what they,
there
what
were
they had
problems.
was
There were problems.
They just had it prematurely. They had premature because people would have that same reaction if they would have played it going in blind. They'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this, man?" Like,
I think if it didn't get delayed, it wouldn't have had the same. If it didn't get delayed, it wouldn't have had the same.
No, I think it would be. I think it would be mostly the same.
Yeah, why wouldn't it? Because I'm not mad about.
That's not you, and that's not you.
I'm not mad about leaks. I'm not.
That's not you, and that's not us. Because we're able to subtract us from that. But I feel like that's some people. That's like why some people love that game. There are people that love. Like, there's actually a lot of people that love that game. Like a lot. Like the vast majority of people gave that game an outstanding
a lot of people that
rating.
love Big Bang Theory. Like, I don't. What is that?
Same, true. I understand. I don't get it, but they exist.
But that's what I'm. There's a lot of people that like a lot of stuff because I feel like they.
Colin would kill you. He just like compared The Last of Us to Big Bang Theory. He'd be so furious.
I'm not comparing The Last of Us to Big. I'm comparing consumers. That people will just consume. They'll just consume
Big
anything.
Bang Theory.
Let's end
the podcast on that. Fuck Big Bang Theory. Fuck that show. That show's so stupid. There is no reason why me, Kingston Jameson, should not like that show. That show is built for me, literally, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Ooh, I hate that show.
Colin.
All right, well,
Colin, the Big Bang Theory is infinitely better than Last of Us Part 2.
That's crazy. Well, there goes the live shows. All right, see you guys.
All right,
that nigga ain't gonna watch this shit. Whatever.
Nah, yeah, he'll never hear this.
He's too fucking busy.
He is.
Good Lord. Well, if you like what you heard today, consider supporting us over at patreon.com/thesnark tank. $1 a month gets you access to every episode and access to bonus solo episodes. $5 gets you access to a question. $5 gets you a question read on the show. $10 gets you access to our Discord server. That's one payment in, you're in for good. And $25 gets your name dyslexically right at the end of the show, which I will now do. And also, my solo episode will be up in the coming days. So
sick.
Then it's Derek. I think next month, right?
In the coming days, isn't this? Wait, when did Sweeney's go live?
Mine went up like before I went to New York.
Was it this month?
It was last month. It was last month, but it was early. I'm kind of late.
Yeah,
but
yeah, maybe a little bit, just a little bit.
You can go, I guess, like the end of next month, I guess. But
yeah, I guess so.
So
Bazinga, Abby, Bazinga,
Abby, as he blows his head off. 3, 2, 1.
Evil Krillin doesn't stick his dick in a dishwasher. Oh my God, fecal facial fiesta.
I totally understand that. That's a good joke.
Fecal facial fiesta. Me and my friends have kill a man on our bucket list. Obi won't you blow me. The guy who threw his shoes at George Bush. Dick Grayson. Zach Cool Number. It's not gay if W wear socks. Parentheses. I'm barefoot. Oh my gay. God. The nerd therapist. Detective Halligan, Slayer of Druids. Carlos Aguilar gets no bitches. Come on. Get homo with the man's ass. Tevin DeBlack. Kremlin de Gremlin.
What?
Kremlin de Gremlin, I think. I, Christopher Raymond Maldonado, want to be absolutely railed. But what is this fucking... You gotta quit with the fucking random capitalizations. It's throwing me the fuck off. What are you giggling at?
So it's a screenshot from Castlevania. Dracula's like, "Put enough talk. It's morbid time."
Is it from Symphony of the Night when he's about to fight freaking
the ass by a big black
Richter? Yes.
No, it's not a joke. I need my ad. Kokujin's in Paradise. Mintberry, let me the fucking back alley and pass dealer. George Hard R. Martin. I want to see Chris versus Derek in the ring and the loser gets fucked with no lube. Mitch McConnell, Tortoiseshell. Saint Maxi. Sweeney probably grunts like Tim Allen during sex. Allsta Wall. Okay, you said it right. Mega Man X8 guy and the lack of anything funny to say this time. Avi, I wrote my Patreon name in a horny daze and would like to sincerely apologize. I became a patron and spent $25 not to be able to come up with a clever name. Wage Slave 583. What if JFK's head just did that? I feel gay. Fuck you. Can you fucking imagine there was no bullet?
His head just blew up.
Holy shit.
He looks over.
He just got overwhelmed.
What was his wife's name again?
Lady JFK.
Oh my God. I think her name is Margaret Kennedy. I forgot her name. Just looks over,
Something. All I know is that she's got a thick ass booty. That's
she
all
had
I
a
know.
fat ass, bro. Like for real, dude.
she really?
She had a
Yeah,
fat
did you see
ass.
that backside when she's grabbing them brains, dude? Woo!
This nigga said when she's grabbing them brains, you gotta take.
When she's grabbing them brains,
she got a fat ass, bro.
she's got them apple bottom jeans, dude. She's got them boots with the
She's
fur.
got a fat ass in the 60s.
Imagine jerking off to a woman's ass in an assassination video.
Fucking.
I paused the JFK tape to jerk off to his wife's
That's
ass.
so fucking.
Bro,
that's
those
bad.
people back in the day, like they saw, you know, people back in the day, they saw that shit and they were jacking off for sure because that was like porn
sick.
back in the day, right there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You couldn't see that much backside
Her name
back
is
in the day
Jacqueline
like that.
Kennedy. There you go.
Jacqueline, that's right, Jackie, that's right.
All right. Shuffling to the door, Sonic hesitantly peers through the peephole. Dead inside, Arcane Furukawa, the Papini brothers' emporium of bullet-filled uncles. Oh.
Why she got that
Good
much
Lord.
ass? God damn, that's so sad.
The National, Richmond, Virginia, April 30th, tinyurl.com/sacred.
That's so.
Sweeney, it's okay.
I like that
My
both of
girlfriend
you
isn't real
pulled it up.
either.
That's so
Look at the
contextually
people there.
sad. That like in the middle of everybody probably absorbing that and looking through that and like, oh my god, the president was just killed. Someone's like, hey yo, look at her ass though. Like that's just so. God
They're
damn,
like
her
that ass.
is
The
fat.
vice president, that ass though.
Someone's like that ass fat, and then everyone in the room is like,
Hey,
yeah, it is. Continue with the.
He does that Miles Morales thing where like they get to wherever it is they're going. Everybody gets out of the car. Some guy just like sniffs the chair.
Dude, that video of Miles sniffing where Gwen was is so fucking funny, dude.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh my god! I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat right
Well,
now.
there's a lot of videos like that, but like there's also one from like this guy at like a fighting game tournament where like this woman's like sitting down next to him, and then she gets up and he just like he pretends to tie his shoes, but he's sniffing this chair.
Oh my fucking god! I need to see that.
It.
Oh my god! What is wrong with these fucking mutants, dude?
I don't know, man.
Like, what you want to? Go ahead. I just go ahead.
Sweetie, it's okay. My girlfriend isn't real either. I have PTSD. Ryber525 in the sun. The mystery of the sudden uptick in tomboy appreciation. Racist Snake. Your favorite podcast, The Shart Dank. With me, your host, Kurt Lasserman, black person, and Ted Bundy. What?
I don't know.
Wait, what? I don't know, man.
Fact
The
that
fun
he
fact,
sniffs it, like it's the regular trailer the whole time. It's the regular trailer, and then all of a sudden he just sniffs where Spider-Gwen was, and it's like,
fun fact: in the 12th century, sunglasses were first made for Chinese judges to hide their facial expressions in court. Have a nice day. There's no way that's real.
So,
This person's like a Snapple fact.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
every new episode he comes in with this shit that's like it could be like sometimes it's true, but then like I'm pretty sure this is a fake ass thing. Tell him, Steve Dave, Antiphus Maximus, wielder of the enchanted bike lock. God is dead because Amber Heard killed him. John Strickland, the unfortunate naming of NBA coach Steve Kerr's son. Big Boo Limpy Sniggins (parentheses Lil) Merck's 1889. Downey McFrowny, if I had a nickel for every time Chris was on a podcast talking of alien fucking his bestiality, I have 2 nickels. I came looking for man's butt. See, I know who you are, Chris Handsome. And, the First Church of Keith David, now accepting donations. I once witnessed a man steal a handicapped stall door at a school. It was the only one that locked.
What?
Oh, man. Drunken Doulahan, Pre-Roz, Breaking Benjamin Shapiro, Come Man, The Men Have Come, Blake 896, fucking kill me. Hey, boss. Hey, boss wants Sween to know that his taste in movies is bad, and Shang-Chi was mid as fuck. Ryan Lucchesi, or Lucchesi, I've heard it's apparently. Whatever.
It's whatever we say it is.
Whatever.
It's whatever I fucking say it is. You better change your name.
Yeah, it's pasta. That's what it is. All right.
He never said anything to me, and he has my direct contact info, so like that's his problem. Ethan Teague, Sloshy Scout, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Help, my penis is an anti-Semite. I am Alfarius. I don't know. Hardhead Skydiver, Alaskan Oilfield Trash, Marcus Shorten, Game Control 25, Nikki Ziggy, Murder Ascended, proud subscriber of the N-Word podcast, Lobotomized Jesus and his merry band of figure nuggets, the non-binary Galaxy Quest fan who has Alan Rickman Funko Pop cum jar.
Oh
Jesus Christ. Remember our Alex... I don't know how to pronounce this, man. You don't care because you still support us, but like I can't read this, just straight up. Like I've not been able to read this the entire time.
Hey, paying good money, man.
Hey, man, you know,
At least
it's too bad
stumble.
because I literally can't. The only stick I touch while driving is my penis. Parentheses, I masturbate while driving. Horse with spicy mushrooms wasn't an escalation, but a brief moment of levitation. Sweeney's clown pussy goes honk honk, cummy cummy cummy, yum inside my tummy. Jackson Absage, Badly Brave, Hugger Derek, the movie theater manager, Eighth Year, and Chris Gape, Mepagerian hunting ass. All hands on Captain Anderson's dick after that sock to Udina. Oh man. Please set aside my donations until there's enough money to send Kingston to a public speaking class. Melphis 1, Warlock Hexblade Supremacist, who recently achieved Lichdom.
Nice.
Richter 86, and as always, King of Haphazard rounding us
The
out.
king of haphazard.
Let's go.
The king.
We fucked that Richmond.
We fucked. Such a fucking asshole.
That's true.
We fucked.
I hope they have a significant other. I'm like, I ruined your relationship. We had sex.
So heinous.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm not lying.
Bye, guys.